It's Miles College, Virginia Union. They get after it today, and so do the Bands, right here on NFL Network. Taking a closer look, a little bit of experience on the Virginia Union side. R.J. Rosales getting some meaningful run when Mark Wright went down last season. Both quarterbacks will actually see them in action today. Cameron Ivory on the Miles side, just one of two returning starters.
Between two conference champions here, but Bucky, Virginia Union, they have established something. Back-to-back CIAA champs. They are projected to win the CIAA again this year. Who are some impact players you're looking for today?
You talk about a bully in the CIAA. Virginia Union, typically they want to operate with a ground attack, but they feel confident about the pass game because they have two quarterbacks that can really spin it. R.J. Rosales and Mark Wright. These guys are going to share time, but they feel like they have enough balance and diversity in their attack to really go at defenses in a variety of ways. So we'll see the running game, but these two quarterbacks are going to throw it all over the yard. They feel like the big plays will come in the passing game today.
Well, Buck, while Virginia has two quarterbacks over here at Miles College, they only have one. His name is Cameron Ivory. He's a returning fifth-year senior who had an opportunity to depart when his previous coach, Sam Shade, decided to leave. Well, now he decided to come back under Coach Good as the SIAC champs. He wants to run it back. Last year, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He said that he has more to prove this year, and we're going to look forward to seeing him in his 6'3", 215-pound frame today against Virginia.
Yeah, he really looks the part. Both the Virginia Union's quarterbacks are on the shorter side, but the big tail of the tape, the big test of this game today, Virginia Union, a veteran-laden, established program. Miles College having to replace 20 of 22 rotational players. That is going to be a concern for Miles, but we'll never know. Hopefully you have a good game today, Mike. Back to you.
Steve, we're
about to kick off here shortly. Where's the level of excitement, nerves? How are you feeling?
Really don't know how to act. You know, it's the first game for me as a college coach, but, you know, to me it's all like, you know, like I was playing in college football, NFL football myself anyway. And that's kind of one of the things I talk to the players. You know, if you're not nervous, then something wrong with it.
You have 20 of 22 starters that are new to this team, new starters. How do you get those guys ready for this moment on national TV?
We had a good summer practice. A lot of the guys came in that was ready. Some of the guys were transfers that we had that kind of knew the system. And so the way we recruited, we kind of recruited guys that knew our system, especially on the defensive side. Offensive side, you know, those guys came in, and, you know, because football is football. Everything's almost the same anywhere you go.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll also hear from Alvin Parker coming up in just a couple of minutes. Another look at R.J. Rosales once again getting to start today. Expect to see both him and Mark Wright under center for Virginia Union. Still got more to come here on game day kickoff. At a heavy load for Virginia Union, our Bridget Kahn had an opportunity to speak with his head coach, Alvin Parker.
Coach, you and your team were here 2 years ago to play in this game. What does it mean this time to be back here in Canton and have the opportunity to play on NFL Network?
Huge opportunity. You know, we don't miss that, you know. So as far as, you know, the team goes, they're ready to play. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, were here back in 23 when we came the last time. So they kind of knew what to expect, but it was a little eye-opening for some of the new guys. So, you know, we're embracing it, and we're ready for 4 o'clock to get here.
You're coming off a season where you earned your 12th championship. Now the quest for 13 begins. What do you need to see today to embark on that journey?
Just us playing a bunch of Panther football. You know, I think we kind of instilled a tradition here. You know, we play with a mantra, play for 11. You know, everybody doing their job, so to speak. So we want to make sure that, you know, we kind of come out and do that. You know, everybody doing their job to make us one group, to make us get to the 13th.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Mark Ross back with me. And Mark, you hear from Coach Parker there. This dude has been around this program as a player, as a coach, 17 seasons, an institution. And yet, we heard Steve Weich talk about it a little bit earlier. This, on the flip side, from Miles College, this is a team that's got a brand new head coach, not to mention a pretty new roster. What do you expect to see?
Yeah, that was most striking to me is that Alvin Parker has been back-to-back champion there at his conference, 3-time captain when he was a player. Yeah, but now you got Chris Good, who, although he played the NFL, first time ever coaching a game. So we'll see how the X's and O's play out even more so than the talent that we'll see on the field today. And Alvin Parker can take advantage of the new guy.
Yeah, look, we get an opportunity to talk a little bit more about this matchup, but let's honor some of the game's best.
This weekend is about tradition, pride, and community, where we honor these greats of the game. pioneers of HBCU football. Now, it's time to meet our Black College Football Hall of Famers. Willett Bailey, Hall of Fame coach, including Virginia Union University. Mel Blunt, Southern University. Robert Dr. Doom Brazil, Jackson State University. Ben Coates, Livingstone College. Greg Coleman, Florida A&M University. Pernell Pay Dirt Dickinson, Mississippi Valley State University. Jimmy Giles, Alcorn State University. James Shat Harris, Grambling State University. Richard Hutley, Winston-Salem State University. Henry Killer Lawrence, Florida A&M University. Frank Lewis, Grambling State University. Timmy Newsom, Winston-Salem State University. Dominique Rogers Cromartie, Tennessee State University. Jackie Slater, Jackson State University. Joe Taylor, Hall of Fame coach, including Virginia Union University. Doug Williams, Grambling State University. Eric Williams, Central State University. Let's give it up to your Black College Football Hall of Famers.
Pretty cool to see the game's best honored. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have absolutely owned the AFC West, winning to get the start for Virginia Union as we get the chip closer to kickoff. This Labor Miles College quarterback Cameron Ivory expected to lead the Bears this season. Check this out, one of only 2 returning starters for this squad. A lot of overhaul. We'll see some young players on the football fields for Miles. Mark, you know, I had an opportunity to be at the HBCU Combine last year. There's such a hunger and a desire for these players to try to find their way to a roster. I know when you were in the front office, you'd fly to Mars to find a talent that can go and help you out. How important is a game like this in national television for these players on both sides?
I mean, incredibly important. They've been talking about this all summer whenever this got scheduled, Yam, and you're right. Everybody feels like I can make it, and this is my chance. This is my opportunity. We'll not get a chance like this again. So this is extra special. And yes, when you scout, you turn over every stone and you look at every player. So if someone shines and someone has the ability to make it, Yam, we're going to take a chance on you.
With some talent. Meanwhile, the guys that are going to be calling this game, Steve White.
On a beautiful afternoon here at Tom Benson Stadium on the grounds of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Miles College Golden Bears, ranked 24th in Division II, take on the Virginia Union Panthers, ranked 19th. I am Steve White here, and I am joined by my colleagues Bucky Brooks and Isaiah Standback, and we have the pleasure of bringing to you all the 2 ranked teams from black colleges, the only 2 in the country, and it should be a good one today. It is the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic, rebranded, Bucky, as the Clash of the Classic because it matches the champions of the CIAA Virginia Union against the champions of the SIAC, that being Miles College.
Yeah, this is, as a coach, this is what you want. You want to play a tough contest early in the year so you can figure out who you are and what you need to work on. The lessons out of this match can help you make a playoff run later in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a head coach, you want to know exactly who you are at the beginning of the season, and what better way to do that than to face another division's champion. You have an opportunity to do that today, and you'll have an opportunity to find out exactly what your squad is.
Okay, we talk about the importance of this start. Now, Bucky, the importance of who needs to get things done for Virginia Union today.
For so long, Virginia Union was a one-man show with Jada Byers being the centerpiece. HBCU Player of the Year. Last year had over 2,000 yards, 27 touchdowns. How do you replace that kind of production? You do it by committee. Dr. Alvin Parker was very confident that he has a group of guys that can get it done. Curtis Allen and Trayvon Tinsley are two guys to keep an eye on. Tinsley, particularly an all-CIAA performer last year at Shaw, he is someone that can do it, but Allen is also talented. Two guys, some more guys in the backfield will share the load to make sure they get Byers' production replaced.
Well, I'm going to look at this coaching staff because the coaching staff is literally Ricky versus the vet. You got Chris Good over at Miles College. He is coming in as his first year as a head coach. Now, he was a 7-year NFL veteran, but he is a rookie to this coaching thing. He comes back to a team that only returns 2 starters. He's bringing in 40 new guys into this program. Now, on the opposite side, over there at Virginia Union, he's going to be facing the vet, and that is Dr. Alvin Parker. He is somebody who's been with this program for 8 years as the head coach, has a 77% winning percentage, 2 conference titles, but it doesn't matter because today starts his journey to try to go get his 3rd.
Alvin Parker, a graduate of Virginia Union, 17 years total as a player and coach at his alma mater, and here he is getting his team ready for today's matchup.
Hey guys, look, just like I said earlier, you know, we get an opportunity, guys. An opportunity to do what we love. We get an opportunity, guys, to play this game. We get an opportunity to show the world our brand. You know, you guys asked for an opportunity. That's all you ask for, guys. And I say this all the time. Anybody that asks for more than an opportunity is ungrateful.
Yes, sir.
We get an opportunity today, guys.
Yes, sir.
So that's what it's about. Taking advantage of the opportunity. Let's make sure we go out there, guys. Let's take advantage of this opportunity. Everybody got that?
Yes, sir.
Everybody touch somebody.
All right, talk about the opportunity, guys. We get the opportunity again to showcase these teams, and let's kind of put everything in perspective right here, right? This is Division II football, 36 scholarships. That's all each club has. But the tail of the tape today, Miles College, you addressed it, Isaiah. Chris Good in his debut, replacing 20 starters. How difficult of a task could this be facing a Virginia Union team that has a new standard reset every year?
I mean, that's an enormous challenge. You understand what you're getting into when you step into the fold as a head coach in that situation. However, you just heard Coach Parker talk about it on the opposite end. All you can ask for is an opportunity. He has that today with a new start with, obviously, Miles College.
All right, and a little bit later today, we're going to be going down to the 4th member of our team, Bridget Condon. Not quite yet as we get set for kickoff, and it looks like, guys, that Virginia Union in the gray jerseys and the scarlet pants will be kicking it off to Miles College. Virginia Union won the toss and they deferred, so they'll be getting the ball in the second half. So again, we're going to see Miles College with their quarterback, Cameron Ivory, one of the 2 returning rotational players, get the ball first. Kicking off for Virginia Union, we've got Brady Myers, another all-CIAA preseason impact player. Been a gorgeous day here in Canton, Ohio. The 6th edition of this Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic. In fact, Virginia Union, this is their 2nd time, guys. We saw them here in 2023. And Jada Byers had a big game against Morehouse.
Put on a show. Showstopper, looking to replace some of that production today.
All right, so we already got a clock issue here. Okay, now we got all of that settled. And back for Miles College. In the return game, we've got number 33. Here on the chart. Jamari Riley, a freshman from Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia.
That's a common thing. A lot of young guys playing for Miles College.
And number 10, guys, Glenn Williams. He is one of 3 players at Miles who played at Chris Good's Elite Prep Academy, the only coaching experience Good has had prior to the day. And there's the kick. Caught at the 12-yard line. That is number 10. That is Glenn Williams. A nice return before being brought down about the 27-yard line where Miles College will be starting its season. Now, Isaiah, when you're a team here, a quarterback, a veteran quarterback, all new offensive line. This is a freshman offensive line. 4 redshirt freshmen, 1 true freshman that has never played. Okay, so what are you trying to establish?
Well, you want to establish some type of a flow. So if I'm the quarterback, you want to get the ground game going. You want to get this offensive line to be comfortable and confident, being able to control the line of scrimmage. And if you can do that, then you want to kind of work your way into your quick passing game.
All right, we see Cameron Ivory handing it off to number 22, Edward Isley. And so let's go back and look at the impact players, Isaiah, for Miles' offense.
Yeah, on offense, you got Gennaro Scott for Miles College. He's going to be the returning senior running back. One of two guys that are going to come in there at the starting position there for the running back position. He might actually work in as a backup, but he is 5'9", 200 pounds, really shifty running back that can get to the second level. And then you saw Glenn Williams there at the return man. He's going to be playing double duty as a returner and a receiver.
Throw there by Ivory, incomplete. It is intended for James Gatewood. All right, Bucky, who are we looking for on Virginia Union's defense?
Keep your eyes on number 6, Zachary Weaver. First play, he was the guy that made a tackle, not for a loss, but right at the line of scrimmage. And then in the kicking game, Virginia Union, Brady Myers. They have had 3 special teams players of the year in the CIAA. The last 3 are Virginia Union. They live and love the kicking game.
All right, 3rd and 9, we're seeing them go 3 by 1. They're really spread. Isaiah, we saw them run this formation and walk through yesterday. What can we expect to see here?
Well, yesterday we're seeing them working into the boundary. This is actually in the middle of the field. You got a nice little completion.
Ivory.
Side.
A nice throw. Hits number 6, Tifton Dobbs. A nice throw there by Ivory. Let's look at the replay.
That's a good job. He just runs to the outside stem, doesn't have a lot of pressure at the quarterback position, is able to come back down his stem. Ball's placed on the outside. I'd like to see a little bit more velocity on it, but either way, the chains keep moving for a first down.
Yeah, that's a good way to get things started. Ivory showing that veteran experience, Bucky, to get them going. All right, now, 1st and 10. Ball on the 40-yard line for Miles College. Play fake. Ivory rolls left, dumps it off to number 17 on the reception. Sorry, number 17 on the reception.
Yeah, Mason Jones. Mason Jones, a basketball player, making a transition, coming over and playing tight end. And we've seen this happen time and time again in the National Football League. Love the athleticism, love the playmaking ability. Way to get him involved early in this contest.
Jones still in the game. Ivory in the shotgun. Hands it off to number 22, Osley. Tackled after about a 3 or 4 yard gain.
And Steve, one of the things that I'm noticing early, we're here for Miles College, is there's a little bit of a size difference. When we look at these guys in pregame warm-ups, Miles College is substantially smaller up front than Virginia Union. So one way in which you can kind of combat that is by having a lot of motion. Get these guys going on the edges. Get them running sideline to sideline and try to tire them out. And that's exactly what you're seeing out of Miles College here early.
All right, 2nd and 8. Ball on the Virginia Union 38. Cameron Ivory takes it. Quick throw. Dumps it off to number 1, Jacob Andrews. Sideline.
And that's that quick passing game that we were talking about earlier in the series. Get the offensive line established at the line of scrimmage, and then go ahead and get the ball to the outside. High precision passes, get it in the hands of your receivers and let them make some plays.
You know, Isaiah, when you talk about that, you talk about the tempo. Playing with a bunch of young guys fresh out of high school. All freshmen on that offensive line. You want simple things to get them going.
All right, Ivory on 3rd and 3. Lining up the shotgun. Drops back, quick pass. Intended for number 14, Marquez Mobley. Incomplete. Now we've got a decision to make here if you're Chris Good. You go for it on 4th down.
That's a pass that Ivory would love to have back. He actually had James Gatewood on a slant route. That was a slant and flat, a nice little quick passing type concept, but he missed a big play there in the middle. I'm sure he wants that one back. You might see it later on in the game as these guys seemingly are running zone on the defensive side.
And no hesitation by Good going for it on 4th and 3. Ball to Virginia Union 33. Osley offset to the right. Heavy pressure. Oh, Ivory gets it off, and he completes the pass. What a play. Looks like it's caught by James Gatewood, the freshman from Southridge High School in Miami, Florida.
Cameron Ivory says, I am on national TV. You can't get me. I'm going to shake this way. I'm going to shake that way. I got you. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move these chains. Way to make a play. It looked like it was going to be something bad in a bad way going backwards, but he found a way to get to the edge, find his open receiver, and deliver a completion.
What a play by Gatewood, the true freshman, coming in and making a couple catches on this very nice starting drive by Miles College. And ball 1st and 10, 20-yard line, Virginia Union. Ivory takes the snap, waiting for something to break open, cuts it open to the left sideline, gets tackled right near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was close. Look, he's just trying to avoid the negative play. Coming into this game, so many young guys, talk about 70 young guys on this roster. But the holdover was Cameron Ivory. We already are seeing the leadership ability, the way that he's playing. He's managing the game effectively, which is why they're in scoring position.
Bucky, you talked about all the freshmen there, and a lot of things we see in high school ball is the no huddle, but not necessarily the hurry up. We're seeing that out of Miles College today.
Yeah, you want to use tempo. Isaiah talked about the size disparity, being able to wear them down sideline to sideline, making this a factor.
2nd and 9. Ivory looking to go to Osley. Ball tipped by number 6, Zachary Weaver, at the line of scrimmage.
One thing about the quick game, Steve, is that if you are going to be running quick game as a quarterback, you have to do a really good job of having disciplined eyes. That means keeping your eyes down the middle of the field until you pop your hips to the direction that you're throwing the ball. You see on your screen as he's looking over that direction the entire time. You cannot do that because the defense is going to be able to jump onto your routes.
Also, those young guys, those young linemen, they got to get their hands down. Yes. So sometimes you got to chop the guys down so they don't knock those balls down at the line of scrimmage.
All right, 3rd and 9 from the Virginia Union 19. Ivory operating out of shotgun as usual.
Man, I mean, you talk about a big play opportunity right there. Yep. Drag route, wide open. You hit him, but you missed the mark. So now, instead of potentially setting up a touchdown, you got to set up for a field goal opportunity.
So now it looks like they're going to be lining up for a field goal. Number 10, Reed Greck will be lining up for what looks like it will be a 37-yard attempt. Really solid opening drive there, though, by Miles. See if they can finish it off. Greck from the left hash. The ball is wide to the right. So after a long drive by Miles College, it ends up with nothing. A great play by Cameron Ivory, but it is all for naught. And when we come back, Virginia Union will take possession with the score 0-0 here at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. Welcome back to Canton, Ohio for the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. Miles against Virginia Union. We are scoreless in the first quarter, and now let's send it down to the sideline in the 4th member of our team, Bridget Condon.
Steve, R.J. Rosales will get the start tonight, but expect to see Mark Wright as well. Head coach Alvin Parker tells me both quarterbacks are starters in his eyes. Both are capable, and both are team captains. So here's how it'll look. Rosales will start right now. He'll play about 2 series, and then Wright will go in, followed by himself. He will continue to rotate. If one guy is hot, though, they'll stick with him. Rosales told me pregame it means everything to have this opportunity, the trust from the coaches. And, guys, he says, I might appear 5'8" on the roster, but when he's out there throwing the ball, he feels 7 feet tall.
And there's Rosales. Out of the gate, play action completion. Pass to number 5, Ricky Key, a senior from Newport News, Virginia.
And that was an absolute dart, Steve. One thing that we did see in the pre-game warm-ups was Rosales' ability to be able to drive the ball. He might be small in stature, but as you just heard him say, he has nothing but confidence when it comes to delivering that rock.
And that was a perfect throw. Talk about a bang-gang, skinny post, delivered it flat, throw it on time, hit that last step. Man, ball was out like a rocket.
Official Jason Kant holding up traffic for just a minute. 1st and 10, Virginia Union on the 36-yard line. Rosales handoff. Curtis Allen breaking tackles, a stiff arm. If he gets by him, what a powerful run. Boy, he had that stiff arm there on Justin Jackson. If not for that, Curtis Allen, who's on the Black College Football Hall of Fame watch list.
Yeah, you just see his patience just really just working through these blockers. It's kind of hard to find him. Guys are trying to dive at his ankles. You're not going to get him down at 6'2", 215 pounds. You're going to need more people if you want to dive at his ankles. You need to wrap him up, get him down to the ground.
I mean, you talk about the physicality showing up right away. This is what Virginia Union wants to do. They want to hit you in the mouth. They're bullies at the point of attack.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line of Miles. R.J. Rosales starting a quarterback. He's got Allen, hands it off right tackle, breaks the initial hit, churns out for about 3 more. All right, Isaiah, who are your impact players for Virginia Union on offense? I'm sorry, Bucky.
So we talked all about the quarterback and the running game, but how about these wide receivers? Keon Davis and Zaire Tart. 2 guys that can make plays in the pass game. They're going to run it early. Let them take shots later on.
All right, 2nd down and 8. Rosales dropping back to pass. Calling his receiver to come by, decides to scramble the stiff leg and runs out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. All right, Isaiah, Miles is on defense. Who are their impact players on that side of the ball?
Well, you just heard Bucky's talk about Virginia Union's approach and how they want to run the ball. If they want to be able to stop the run, that is Miles College, that is, you're going to need Shavella Condry, the big fella in the middle, number 90, 330-pound redshirt junior. He's going to have to control the line of scrimmage. If he's able to do his job, then his star linebacker, Carson Pritchett, is going to have an opportunity to be able to see ball, hit ball, come downhill, and make some plays for them.
And Condry, short, compact, really solid players. Rosales under center. Hands the ball off again. This time it's Trayvon Tinsley with his first carry.
The dynamic duo. When we talked to Dr. Alvin Park, he talked about having as many as 6 guys in the backfield that can get it done. But we know Allen and Tinsley, both of these guys, Tinsley in particular, all CIAA performer. He is special with the ball in his hand.
Shavella Condry on the tackle. You were just talking about him, Isaiah.
The big fella, yeah, he's short and he's big, wide, low, but he's going to be able to get to the guys and get their ankles if they need to. But his main job is to be able to clog up that middle.
4-yard gain by Tinsley. Handoff. Tinsley off left tackle, breaking a tackle. Big time run down to the 5-yard line, but we got some laundry on the field. Referee Jason Gant and his Big Ten crew.
Yeah, this is one of the things that we worried about. Babies.
Holding. Offense number 17. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Called on wide receiver Laverius Gilbert. It's one of the reasons why Tinsley maybe got the yard if it meant.
A little bit.
But Bucky, these running backs we're seeing for Virginia Union, they are not going down on first contact.
No, they're not going down, but it's part of a thing. We talked about it. Virginia Union was very purposeful in their talk when they said they want to put their hands on them. They want to put their paws on them. They got a bunch of freshmen. They want to knock them around, and you're seeing the size disparity, the physicality. Miles is going to have to step it up to deal with this running game.
All right, looks like 2nd and 9 from the 24-yard line of Miles as Rosales is back in the shotgun. Tinsley offset. So that's Allen offset. Rosales has to get it out quick under heavy pressure.
And that's a really good job by Miles College, doing a good job by bringing a little fireside blitz on the outside that really caused some problems for RJ as he came off of the play action. He had somebody right in his face. You guys are going to see it come right off the right side of your screen. They're right there untouched. It's very hard to get the ball out, get your hips squared up, and get the ball delivered when you got a free runner.
Yeah, this is perfect timing on that.
Yeah, Abraham Daniels with the pressure coming off the edge. As you're seeing Miles in that 4-man front. Now it's 3rd and 9 for Virginia Union. Rosales, plenty of time. Underthrows it, though. Ball incomplete. Coach Alvin Parker now in no man's land where the ball is. Does he go for it here on 4th down? Or does he trust his standout kicker, Brady Myers?
He has to make some business decisions, but one thing I do know, though, Steve, is Javante Cooper, the nose tackle for Miles College, was all in the face of RJ. He made him uncomfortable, and that is the reason why that ball was thrown inaccurately.
Well, they're going for it on 4th down. Rosales back in shotgun. Allen offset to the left. It's like Rosales changing the play call. 4th and 9 again for Virginia Union. Timeout Union. They were having some issues signaling the play in.
Timeout. Virginia Union. Their first of the half. This is immediate timeout.
right, so we're going to head to the break. We'll be right back at the Clash of the Classic right after this. All right, welcome back to Canton, Ohio for the Blackhawks Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. It is 0-0. Virginia Union is now on 4th and 9, getting ready to attempt a 40-yard field goal by Brady Myers. Head coach Alvin Parker was going to go for it before the timeout. But look at the success Alvin Parker has had. A 51-3 record, 8 seasons at Virginia Union, back-to-back CIAA champions. He played at Union, was an all-conference running back, 2023 Blackhawks Football Hall of Fame Coach of the Year. Myers puts it up, and it is good as Virginia Union goes up 3-0. The first points on the board in the season opening game for 19th ranked Virginia Union. So now we have scores and we have energy. We'll be right back with Union up 3-0.
Timeout. SandCloud shows.
We are back at the Blackhawks Football Hall of Fame Clash in the Classic, where Virginia Union has a 3-0 lead, and you are looking at the Ambassadors of Sound marching band from Virginia Union. Well, next Sunday, September 7th, you can get NFL Red Zone powered by NFL Network for free. That's right. See every touchdown from every game next Sunday afternoon for free. Go to NFL.com/Red Zone free preview and check your local provider for details. All for free, guys. You got some Red Zone for free.
$3.99 is the best price.
That's right.
Really good drives by both teams. They both went down. Obviously, Virginia Union was able to actually convert on their field goal, but both teams did a really good job of initiating the line of scrimmage and working their way down the field for opportunities for field goals.
You know, Steve, you talked about Dr. Alvin Parker. One of the things that they've been able to do is 3 straight years they've had the CIAA Special Teams Player of the Year. It came through mightily for them with Brady Myers knocking down.
Yep. Brady Myers with a 40-yard field goal. He is set to kick off. And again, Glenn Williams, number 10 for Miles, and number 6, Tifton Dobbs, back deep. Williams again taking that to 13 yards. Oh! A big-time hit.
Somebody got to block that man.
That looks like...
Block him or duck.
Yeah.
He's one or the other. Young guy coming out free. Oh, man.
Yeah, number 22. Looks like Steve Frazier on that hit. Now let's send it down to our Bridget Condon on the sideline with a special guest from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I'm here with Adrian Allison, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Chief Relationship Officer. Our first Clash of the Classic. Rebrand here. These teams both had to earn the right to come here by winning their conference. How does that elevate today's game?
Yeah, I think when you have championship teams coming and playing they're both highly ranked teams, they're both competitive teams, and we had an opportunity to partner with both of the conferences to bring their best to Canton, and we're so excited to have them here. Both of them tell me that they're going to come every year, so we'll wait and see what the outcome of this game and the season is, but we're truly happy to have the champions of the 2 HBCU conferences here in our game every year.
Earned, not given. That's what Alvin Parker says about his squad being back here. The Hall of Fame members that are in attendance, I'm looking around, I see about 20 different guys here. What does it mean for them to be back in the stands and for these guys to look at them and say, I could be that one day?
Yeah, first of all, it's an honor. This whole weekend is about them, right? This is the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic. The game is a Clash of the Classic. It is about honoring these great trailblazers. Yesterday we had a dinner. We had a chance to have those players on the field meet with those Black College Football Hall of Famers. They're heroes. That's what this weekend is all about, to celebrate the past and to celebrate the future.
What was one thing you took from that weekend that you heard those guys tell these younger players?
Well, what they basically told them is that they could do anything that they could do. All they had to do was work hard, persevere, make the effort, and listen to their coaches. And if they do that, they'll have the chance to be Black College Hall of Famers just like they were.
I love it. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you always. Thank you all for being here.
Steve?
Great interview, Bridget. As you see, Miles College now in a hole after a negative run by Gennaro Scott on his first carry and a false start. There's another connection there. Cameron Ivory to 14. Marquez Mobley. Isaiah, what about that catch and throw?
That was a really good job by Cameron Ivory, just buying time. You know, his coverage was pretty good. He's going to work his way outside of the pocket here. As he does so, he's going to keep his eyes down the field. You see his hips and his shoulders are squared up to the line of scrimmage, which allows for him to put an accurate ball back across the field.
Yeah, for 2nd and 16 to 3rd and 2. Miles Miles College and Cameron Ivey really showing some of that veteran leadership, and that offensive line, all freshmen, holding up pretty well for him in coverage. Ivey takes a snap. Oh, handoff to Gennaro Scott. He is stopped right away.
Yeah, the big fellas up front for Virginia Union are starting to control the line of scrimmage a little bit. You see Cameron Ivey having to get out of the pocket a little bit more than he would like to be accustomed to, and now they're forcing a big fourth down.
Yeah, that was number 8, Kamari Frederick, on the tackle to force the punt. And punting for Miles College, it will be 28, Scotty Jackson. And deep for Union is the guy we've been waiting to see, Zaire Tart, who was an all-conference player last year at Lincoln University. The punt low, very returnable.
Peter, get away.
All right, so Virginia Union about to get the ball for the second time of the game. And it's Virginia's second trip to this game. And for many of these players, though, it is their first trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum, a true bucket list event. You're seeing some of the players throwing up the hooks there, Buck.
Oh.
But they get to walk through all of the different levels, the incredible bust room. Just a bucket list moment for any football fan, and for these young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, to get to deal with some of these interactive events is really huge.
And it's huge, I mean, because representation matters. In order to dream, you need to know that somebody has done it before you. And a lot of times, these guys don't have the opportunity to have those points of contact. So to go through the hall and see the Hall of Famers, to be able to interact with these Hall of Famers for the Black College Hall of Fame is absolutely huge for their development.
RJ Rosales connect to Ricky Key on first down. And Bucky, Isaiah just said something. There are more than 35 Black College Football Hall of Famers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well. Several of them are here today.
Yeah, the exposure. You have to see it to believe it. And so being around Doug Williams and others, Jay Skywalker, and some of the other guys that have been recently inducted, these guys now get a piece of the dream so they can make those dreams come true.
Okay, RJ Rosales, the handoff to Curtis Allen. Off left tackle. Allen, just a tough load to bring down as he rushes for the first down. About an 8-yard run.
And by the time he hit the ground, Steve, there was 9 guys from Miles College that had already surrounded him. Remember I said earlier, you're going to need more people. You see it right there. He is a hard young man to get down to the ground.
And Carson Pritchett, the redshirt freshman from Atlanta, key defensive player for Miles, leading the charge after the first down run. Rosales takes the low snap. He's loading up. He wants to go deep. Oh, nearly picked off. It was intended for Laverius Gilbert. It looked like number 6 on the coverage for Miles College there.
Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson being able to get over the top.
Justin Jackson did a really good job of keeping his eyes on Rosales. As Rosales was back there and there was a double move, he was able to stay back. You see his eyes are back on the quarterback right now the entire time. They were able to ice cream sandwich him between the cornerback and the safety, give him no place to go, almost came down with an interception.
True freshman on the play as well. Handoff. Again, going to Curtis Allen, breaks the first tackle, but not much more after that.
You know, early in the game, I was really concerned about the size disparity, the inexperience, but Miles is holding up really well. Young secondary, making plays down the field. So far, so good through the first 12 minutes of the game.
All right, 3rd and 10 for Virginia Union. Rosales getting the signal from the sideline. On the left hash, 2 receivers wide right. Rosales takes the snap, steps up. He's got plenty of room to run. Rosales, he is across the sticks. No, not yet. He is there. First down run by Rosales.
And Miles College had the perfect play dialed up. They just didn't convert. You got to have one guy to make the play. They run a fire zone blitz from the left side of your screen. You guys are going to see multiple guys come here, but RJ is able to utilize his assets in the form of his quickness and his speed to be able to get past them, make them miss, and go get the first down.
Yeah, Abraham Daniels, the will linebacker, had him in his sights, and Rosales, that's where some of that 5'8" slippery size comes to his advantage. First down now. Virginia Union, 1st and 10 from the 41. Handoff into Curtis Allen.
You know, I kind of like how Virginia Union is mixing it up with the running backs. Curtis Allen is definitely the pounder. He's a guy who has 15 touchdowns in his career. You're seeing the physicality and the toughness, and you just know as they begin to lean on Miles College in the second half, Allen could go big.
4-yard gain. He was kind of the big change of pace back, if you will, for Virginia Union the last couple of years. Jada Byers needed a breather, the all-suit, all-everything running back. Now we're seeing Virginia Union get under center with a power I formation with an I set. Play action, then it hands it off. That pops out. Let's see who got it. Miles is signaling that it has it. And they do. First big turnover, number 46. Number 46 on the recovery. For Miles College, Braylon Jones, a freshman from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Wow. First turnover of the game, guys. Virginia Union allowing Miles, this young Miles team, to kind of hang around. Find out what Miles can do on offense. And we come back after the turnover. Virginia Union up 3-0. All right, back in Canton, Ohio, where Virginia Union has a 3-0 lead, but they just turned the ball over to give Miles College an opportunity to get things going in their direction.
Yeah, you're going to see Trevon Tinsley here just trying to make something happen, lost his balance, and while trying to keep balance, not go down, he lost the most important thing that's on the field, and that is the football.
You got to squeeze the picks again. We talk about turnovers being the biggest deciding factor in football. Last year, Miles College second in the country in turnover margin. Look, winning teams take care of the ball, and they take the ball away.
On that note, Bucky, we know that Chris Good, the rookie head coach for Miles College, a longtime DB in the NFL, University of Alabama. What about stressing that?
Look, he has to stress that. He comes from the National Football League where the ball is everything. You can see it reflected in their play. They're going after the ball at every turn.
All right, 3-by-1 from the right hash. Cameron Ivory takes the snap under pressure right away. From Virginia Union. Wow.
Defensive line just won.
Yeah, Ivory did not have a chance.
No chance at all. Defensive line absolutely went ham on that play. Will Hawkins. Not Will Hawkins.
Terrence Mays.
Terrence Mays just did a heck of a job up front, just really controlling the line of scrimmage. We talked about how important that aspect is going to be for this game for both teams. If you can't block it up and you can't run it up, it's going to be a long day for either side.
Loss of 3, Bucky. We've seen Miles, though, get in these negative downs in the early part of each series.
Yeah, they haven't, but a lot of that is...
Gennaro Scott.
Penalty. Yep.
Drops the play. We got a flag coming in late.
I have a feeling that Dr. Parker's going to have a problem with that.
Oh, 100%. Silly penalties. You okay with aggressive penalties? Not the silly penalties. That was a silly penalty.
All right, let's get the call from Jason Cant.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, defense number 5, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You're going to see they're trying to throw a screenplay here. He slips and falls, and then Mekhi Lewis just comes a little bit too extra, a little bit too much energy.
A little bit.
He might have been 1 to 2 seconds late on that one, but got to temper the expectations down. You cannot hurt your team like that. You're in a game that you're only up by 3 points. You just had a positive play. Don't turn that into a negative against your team.
Yeah, penalty against Michael Lewis gives Miles the first down on the 38-yard line. He hands the ball off to Gennaro Scott. Now, guys, Scott really hasn't gotten going. And, Bucky, we were told by his head coach, Chris Good, that he got to camp late.
Yeah, got to camp late, so you don't know condition, what he knows. So you're trying to work through that part of it. But they expect him to be a workhorse bell cow for this offense.
All right, as we count down to the end of the first quarter, it looks like Miles is getting ready to go ahead and take the breather as we are going to flip the field with Virginia Union. The Panthers up 3-0 here at the Clash at the Classic in Canton, Ohio. We'll be back, see if we get more highlights like this. These two nationally ranked black college Division II programs. All here down 3-0 to Virginia Union at the Clash at the Classic. And guys, we were talking about their head coach, Chris Good, a former NFL player with the Colts. This is his collegiate coaching debut.
But what I love about it, anytime you're a player, game respects game. And so when you see someone who has played in the National Football League, who has done what you're aspiring to do, they automatically have the credibility that you want. And then it's about organizing practice and putting that in. He certainly has done a really good job putting it together so far.
Okay, second 8 from the 40-yard line is Cameron Ivory, who's completed 7 passes to 6 different receivers. Play fake under pressure again, gets the ball off and just throws it out of bounds. All right, now let's send it down to the sideline at Bridget Condon for more on Miles College coach Chris Good.
Yeah, Steve, Coach Good uses his story as motivation. He started as a second-string Division II running back. He walked on at Alabama, only started 1 game, but he kept working, got an invite to the NFL Combine. His speed earned him a shot in the league. He now tells his players, you never know who's watching, so make sure every rep counts. He wasn't even sure he wanted this job, guys, and his wife didn't even know he was interviewing for it. He said he prayed on it, and he knows he can make a difference here at Miles College.
Uh-oh. Wife didn't know?
Oh.
She's good now, though.
Good now.
Cameron Ivey going back deep. Intended. We had some contact at the end of the play, and the flag is on the field. Ball is intended for Tifton Dobbs.
Isaiah's up in here jumping around asking for a flag. The guy inadvertently tripped over the DB's feet, and there you are jumping up throwing flags.
Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, the flag is on Breon Gunnell. As we know, guys, this is the NFL Network, but this is college rules. 15 yards is not a spot foul on the pass interference. So first and 10 for Miles College on the 45 of Virginia Union. But 2 penalties on this drive, again, extending things for Miles.
Absolutely, but the thing is, they are stretching out the defense of Virginia Union. They are not allowing them to play downhill. Even right now, you're seeing these safeties play at about 7 or 8 yards deep. By going over the top, you make them respect you, and you give a little bit more space for your running game.
All right, Ivory dump step all off to number 17 on that, tight end. Mason Jones, again, basketball player, used to play at Rice.
Yeah, you guys, Isaiah, you're right. Not only are they stretching them vertically, but side to side. They're making Virginia Union defend the entire field. And they've moved the ball successfully. We talk about that young offensive line. It's been some struggles, but the different rhythm and cadence of this offense has certainly helped those young guys protect.
Isaiah, as a former quarterback, though, the way he's navigating the pocket, because he's been under tremendous pressure on this possession.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, he's having to move around the pocket that's unplanned. But right now, this is actually scripted to get out the pocket and try to make something happen. He's able to do so, get 5 or 6 yards there. But a lot of the times that we've seen him on the move, it's been because of guys like Kamari Federick on the defensive line that has really been working the offensive line of Miles College. These guys have to do a better job of holding up the front and so allowing Cameron Ivory to feel comfortable and confident to be able to deliver those deep balls that we saw.
Yeah, Ivory on that rollout slipped the pressure from Christian Aiken to make it about 3rd and 4, very manageable at the 39-yard line for Virginia Union.
And this is huge. I mean, you take that positive play, right? You're not taking sacks. You're not making bad throws, right? And indecisiveness. You're able to go out there and get some positive yardage. And now this down and distance is exactly manageable for your team.
We had some action. Let's see if it goes on the offense. Looked like the left guard moved.
This does not help your offense.
No.
It doesn't, but some
offense, number 50, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Some of this is going to be expected. Bunch of young guys, jittery, nervous, trying to settle in. You can have some of these re-snap penalties.
Yeah, Zion Stevens, a true freshman from Montgomery. A little close to the campus. So now it's 3rd and 9. From the right hash, 3 receivers to the right to the boundary.
Little formation into the boundary. Condense the field a little bit. See how the defense reacts to it.
It's 3-on-3 over there at the top of the screen.
Ivory drops back up. Plenty of time. Good pocket. Underthrows it. Interception. Picked off by number 14 on the play, Nathaniel Knox. With the return, a big play for Union. Just an underthrown ball, Isaiah. You have to wonder if he even saw him right there.
You want to trust your eyes. He double pumped on it. Cameron Ivory did not take the big shot over the top. He double pumped, went over the middle, and he paid the dear price for it.
A big-time turnover after a penalty. Now Virginia Union, which leads 3-0. We'll see if they can build on that lead.
So I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk because I like what the company stands for. Pure Talk looks after our vets in a meaningful way, and they keep their customers.
The Classic at Canton, Virginia. Canton, Ohio. Virginia Union up 3-0, and they just had a big turnover there, intercepted by Nathaniel Knox. Isaiah, what did you see on this play?
Cameron Ivory's going to want this one back. He had Glenn Williams running down the middle right here on a big post route, right? And he doesn't see it. He had an opportunity to get over the top of the safety, and he also had the over route. He double pumped on it, and when he double pumped, boom, gave the linebacker opportunity to sit back, see the quarterback, and make the big play.
I mean, just hate giving those up. There are only so many explosive shots that you can draw up.
Right.
And so when you have the post right over the top, which took the safety away from it, that over route is there. He has to deliver the ball on time.
And now Virginia Union takes over 1st and 10 at the 49. Rosales still in it. Quarterback, a halfback pass set up. Oh, not a halfback pass, wide receiver pass.
Good job on Miles.
Number 1, Keon Davis. Really nowhere to throw it. All right,
great discipline by them. What do you think about that buck as a defender?
I mean, no, you talk about Chris Good coming over, defensive back. The one thing that we can say, their secondary has been on point when it comes to their eye discipline. Didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You have to know after a turnover shot is coming, they were all on.
Pick up a 2, 2nd and 8 on the play. Rosales handoff. Nothing doing for Allen. Now let's send it down to Bridget Condon on the sideline.
Steve, I'm here with Bobby Knight, the president of Miles College. One of my favorite things about doing this game is the sideline swag and the style. The purple lipstick is out of this world. What do you want people to know about Miles College and HBCU football playing on this stage?
So first of all, it's exciting to be here. To have this as a stage for our team, our championship team, is wonderful. We deserve to be here, and we're thankful that we are here. The weekend has been fantastic. Miles is a historically black college from the Birmingham, Alabama area in a little city called Fairfield. And just to have our students here is amazing.
And then to be playing in the Black College Football Hall of Fame game and have the world recognize HBCUs and recognize that they are just as good at football teams as any other school. What does that mean to you?
So just look at the caliber of the NFL Hall of Fame inductees that were here last night and that are here at the game today, who attended HBCUs, also in the HBCU Hall of Fame, but also in the NFL Hall of Fame. That tells you the caliber of people that have come out of HBCUs. So we're great. We're small, but we're mighty. But HBCU student athletes are amazing young men and women, and we're glad to have this opportunity for them.
I can't help but notice the AKA earrings too. Steve, I mean, we got to step up our game next year because this is our new wardrobe stylist. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thanks.
A great interview there with President Knight, and we heard Chris Good say it wasn't a long interview with her before she decided to hire him as the head coach.
Persuasive.
Well, so far his team is showing up pretty well. That? You know, even though they were forced to punt on that play.
I think a lot of it goes back to what Bucky was talking about as far as their defensive discipline. These guys are not allowing the big play.
All right, now you're looking at Miles College, founded in 1898. That's it, in Fairfield, Alabama, right near Hueytown, home of Jameis Winston. Enrollment of about 1,500. Defending SIAC champions, notable alumni, UW Clemson, Richard Arrington Jr., Vince Hill. Maybe one day some of these young men or young coaches could be added to that famous alumni. Negative play on that handoff there. Ivory taking the low snap, and that set things in motion.
Mari Federick again. Continues to show up for that defensive front. He is causing havoc up there. They're going to have to find a way to control him. If they can't control him, they're going to have to get outside and play on the edges.
He's just too good. Too big, physical, too strong, too disruptive right now for the Miles College young guys.
Yeah, Miles is really, that was Osley on the carry. They have really struggled trying to get the run game going. Ivory on 2nd and 12 from the 18-yard line. Poised to trying to get it going again, and Osley with the carry, but he took a big shot. Number 3, Ahmad Ross. We really don't want you coming across the middle behind your guard there.
He took a big shot, but he still found a way to fall for 2 more yards after taking that first point of contact. So they needed more than one guy to get him down. Got them down from a 2nd and 13 situation to a now somewhat manageable 3rd and 9. It's still 3rd and long, but it's better than being 13 yards.
I like that somewhat manageable 3rd and 9 there, Isaiah.
Yeah, they got to find a way now. They keep coming out in these 3-by-1 sets, and it's actually very favorable to them if they find a way to get the ball out to their receivers.
Fakes a handoff under pressure again, gets the ball off. Into double coverage. Ball's intended for Quintavious Swain. Wow, Ivory feeling the pressure.
Feeling the pressure again, and we keep talking about it. He has an opportunity, Cameron Ivory, that is, to sit back and deliver these balls. He's going to have an opportunity to make some big plays. You're going to see another big post route over the top. They keep putting pressure on these safeties, but the problem is Ivory is not being allowed to set his feet and deliver an accurate ball.
And that's some of the risks that you're willing to take. Your Virginia Union, you talk about a guy coming into the game, 53% completion rate. You're willing to say, hey, he's not going to be accurate enough to make his bet.
Yeah, and that was kind of their strong safety, Steve Frazier, who brought the pressure off the edge. Oh. Just a punt. Keeping the ball away, though, from number 4, the all-everything wide receiver, Zaire Tart. Virginia Union going to get another possession, up 3-0 here at the Clash at the Classic here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Welcome back to Canton, Ohio, where Virginia Union leads Miles College 3-0. Well, right, Virginia Union and R.J. Rosales still in at quarterback. We thought by now there would be a change to Mark Wright based on what head coach Alvin Parker told us, but Rosales still as he hands the ball off to Curtis. Still going. Curtis Allen trudging in. Can he pick up a block and get it to the end zone? Curtis Allen with the 53-yard touchdown run.
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about a big, physical, athletic running back. Look no further than number 0, Curtis Allen. What you just saw on your screen is absolute insanity. That is not a human. He is not of this earth. Look what he's able to do. Leapfrogs over to the defensive back, shakes off a 1 tackle, 2 tackles, high steps this thing all the way down, and then says, I have places to be. Get me in the end zone. We need 6 points.
We talked about that dynamic duo. One wrecks, the other destroys. Right now, he's doing everything. Curtis Allen being able to be effective, physically dominating between the tackles.
Brady Myers lining up for the PIT to put an exclamation point on that play. And it is good as Virginia Union goes up 10-0 on this incredible run by Curtis Allen. Guys, what was more impressive, the hurdle or the fact that he shook Robert Williams, an inside linebacker, upon landing?
Listen, all of it was absolutely insane. Look at this. Oh, thank you very much. No, you can't tackle me. You can't either. And watch his knees get up. High stepping on it. You've all been on a sled. All 3 of us have been on a sled at one point in time. After you sprint, your legs are heavy like a Chevy. Not this young man. He was a high step this thing, shake one more man, and get in the end zone for his team.
See, that's why you do all that conditioning. That's why you lift all those weights, Isaiah. That's why you do that. That's why in the summertime when it's hot, you're out there running. That's what happens. But great effort. You talk about being able to wear down 97 yards already, 7 carries, a touchdown. I'm telling you, as they begin to lean on this team in the second half, he go big.
We're talking about some of these legendary players. That play right there reminded me of somebody, Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson was a big running back, obviously, that played not only played in the league. That athleticism right there at that size is reflective of some of the legends.
Man, you just love how physical he is. How he's been able to kind of put his stamp on this, set the tone as a physical running back for Virginia Union, who absolutely wants to bully people at the point of attack.
All right, on the kick, number 10, Glenn Williams on the return. Oh, he's got daylight. He's got daylight. He only has a kicker to beat.
Oh, Taylor kicker gets
he deterred him
also one of my players to watch for today's game because of that 4-3-2 speed. Not a 4-3-9, not roll it up to the 4-4, 4-3-2. And you said it right there, Buck. You got to be able to put your foot in the ground, but he definitely has that track speed to run straight.
I mean, he is right there. That's a good job of closing on the kicker. Kicker hurt himself on that.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. Brady Myers, number 88, again, one of the top kickers in the CIAA. That's somebody that Virginia Union relies on. Again, he gave him that early lead with a 40-yard field goal, so we'll get his condition as you go on, but that's a situation to watch.
It's all fun and games, so you got to make a real tackle.
Oh, Bucky, the kicker hate, huh?
No, hate. I mean, man over here made a tackle there.
Defense number 9, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's a good job by Cameron Ivory right there. Right on the heels of a big play from your special teams unit, getting up there, giving them a hard count. You know that the defensive line has been dominant up front. You know that you want to get it, that they want to come out there and make a play, and you get them on the hard count, get them off sides. That's a free 5 yards for your offense.
First and 5 from the 30-yard line for Miles College. Cameron Ivory, running backs offset to both sides. Remember, he had the big interception that led to that touchdown play. Let's see if he can bounce back. Hands it off to 22.
Nice
Edward Osley
nice
picked up the first down on that short down distance, guys.
It's a good play for Miles College. They're able to get a positive run game, obviously on a 1st and 5 situation. Puts them in a situation now on a 2nd and 1, or not even a 2nd and 1. You want to see them convert on this, and then again, try to get this defensive front out of the 7-man box. Right now, they are allowing Virginia Union to have a 7, sometimes 8-man box. By hitting some of those post plays that they've been attempting all game long, it would allow them to have a lighter box, and they'll have more success in the run game.
Ivory in the shotgun. Hand off to Osley, a powerful run off the right guard. Guys, have you noticed when they're running now, it's back-to-back plays over the right guard where they've had some success?
Yeah, very much so. They're running right there in the middle of that offensive line between Terrence Marion and Carmelo Turner. Those guys are doing a good job of starting to get some movement up front. A lot of times we were seeing that they're trying to have some ISO blocks, but what we're starting to see now is a combination blocks, what we call combos, where these offensive linemen are coming out off the ball shoulder to shoulder. They're using 2 men to move 1 man.
All right, 1st and 10 on the 20. Cameron Ivory sticking with the run, run action. Dumps it off to his tight end, Mason Jones, but Virginia Union not fooled at all on that play.
What we've seen early in the game from Cameron Ivory in terms of him getting out of the pocket, getting on the edges, he was doing a great job of getting out here and getting his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. On this play, he keeps his shoulders adjacent to the line of scrimmage, therefore it limits his opportunities in terms of where he can go with the ball.
Bucky, that was Nathaniel Knox, 14, who had the interception, who also made the tackle on that play. He's really starting to show up.
He is starting to show up. You're beginning to see those guys step up because, remember, you don't have a preseason. It takes you a while to get in the flow of the game. He's certainly already in rhythm.
All right, 2nd down, 12. Ivory with the dump off. Pass incomplete, guys. Real quick, we're going to send it down to our Bridget Condon with an injury update.
Yeah, Steve, Brady Myers, the kicker, walked off. He met with trainers for a couple minutes, but totally fine. Walked back over. He's now with his teammates, helmet in hand. He gave a thumbs-up sign. He's all good to go back in.
All right, thanks a lot, Bridget. Important update there for the Virginia Union kicking game. And it looks like we've got
Virginia Union, their 2nd of the half.
All right, so Union up 10-0. Miles threatening. We'll be back right after this break here at the Clash at the Classic Pro Football Hall of Fame. Oh, it is a family affair here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Hula hooping. And right now, Virginia Union is hooping up 10-0 on Miles College with 7:45 left in the Clash at the Classic. Champions of the CIAA, Virginia Union, establishing themselves at Miles, threatening. It's 3rd and 12 from the Virginia Union 22. Cameron Ivory back in shotgun formation. Takes the snap, movement again. Plays continues. Ivory throws it deep. Incomplete. Looked like he was trying to hit Tifton Dobbs, but looked like some of the players didn't know if there was a stoppage in play or not.
There's not a flag on the field.
Not a flag on the field. Yeah, that was an interesting looking sequence. Now 4th down. So it looks like we're going to see the place kicker read Grex. Real quick, here's the play.
This looked like should have been a penalty, but he continues to play on. Give them credit for playing on, trying to make something happen, but that was all blown up from the start.
Yeah, I mean, that's a veteran experience by Ivory. Like, I didn't hear a whistle blow because he saw so many guys standing around. Okay, number 10, Reed Gregg. He's trying a 39-yard attempt. Now we have a timeout.
Miles, they're first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Okay, Chris Good deciding to go for the field goal here, but let's look at his staff. We thought Chris Good making his collegiate coaching debut. Andre Smith, the former first-round pick, also making his collegiate coaching debut.
Yeah, how about that? Former first-round pick, 13-year NFL veteran, being able to tutor these young guys. We wonder why this young offensive line has been able to hold up fairly well against an experienced group. Andre Smith passing on some of those lessons.
Yeah, and obviously you got the tight end coach there, Ciante Lewis, the 3-year starter over there in Florida, as well as an offensive coordinator in Kenny Ray, as they try to figure out exactly what their new offensive identity is with the first-year head coaching staff.
Yeah, just a minute after this field goal attempt, our Bridget Condon's got a great story on Andre Smith, so we'll get to her in just a minute. Correct. 39-yard attempt. Ball is up, and it doinks off the goalpost.
All doinks count.
All doinks count. It doinked in, and Miles College is on the scoreboard. Because now we are back to a one-possession game with 7:34 left in the first half. That's correct. With the kick.
That was very important for them to be able to walk away with some points there, especially after a great return by Glenn Williams, getting the ball all the way to their half of the field, and having some success on the ground, getting some penalties on the hard count. And then they had the one negative play where nobody really knew if it was a penalty or not. To walk away with some points here was absolutely instrumental to their ability to have some success tonight.
Yeah, we were talking about Andre Smith, the former first-round draft pick out of Alabama, who is now coaching the offensive line. Let's send it to Bridget Condon with a really, really good story on Andre.
Yeah, Steve, I talked with him yesterday. He said this job is bigger than football. After a frightening health scare in April, sudden chest pain, emergency surgery, even time on a ventilator, he says God gave him a second chance to do things the correct way. He's down about 50 pounds, cut out the fried food, though he said it was hard being from the South. His message, though, to players is simple. If something feels off, get checked. Now he's channeling that perspective into teaching technique and life habits every day.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. I was talking to Andre. I remember I covered him when he was coming out of the draft. A lot of controversy of him coming out of the draft because of his conditioning. He said he was just out for a walk. Felt like a clap on his back and his chest.
Oh, wow.
Broke him down to all fours, had to go to the emergency room. But now he's back. Good health, feels great. It's now Miles College, which is on the scoreboard, getting ready to kick off to Virginia Union. The fair catch signaled. As you know, in college, inside the 25, he comes out to 20-yard line. All right, guys, it is Virginia Union's going to try to build on its lead. It's first down and 10 at the 25, and we're going to be joined by a special guest momentarily. This is great. And R.J. Rosales continues to stay in at quarterback for Union. First and 10 on the 25. Rosales hands this one off. Is this Allen again?
Absolutely.
On the big run. Right off tackle. Bucky and Isaiah, we are now joined by Pro Football Hall of Famer and Black College Football Hall of Famer Jackie Slater. Jackie, thanks so much for joining us.
Delighted to be able to be here with you guys. It's fun watching college football, I'll tell you. Got to meet a lot of those young offensive linemen there last night. Man, they're fired up. Looking forward to playing some ball.
I like that you got to meet a lot of them last night. What are you seeing out here today?
Well, I see a bunch of scrappy guys. You know, this is the first game of the season, so, you know, your expectations can't be so high, you know, relative to looking looking at it as a fan, but, you know, I know these guys are pumped up. And, you know, they got to get into a groove. It's going to take a week or two. You know, they got to get that cardiovascular and all of that.
We got to get that cardio.
A lot going on right now.
So where do your eyes get drawn to? Obviously, you had a legendary career, but when you're watching the games, where do your eyes automatically get drawn to?
It gets drawn to the offensive line, defensive line. You know, I'm looking at the blocking schemes primarily. They're using a lot of similar schemes that we see at the, you know, in the pros actually. You know, some counters. Some of those plays that we actually ran with Eric Dickerson at the Rams, where you pull in the backside, guard and tackle, wrapping them and kicking and trying to insert that back in there. And then some of the passes some of the protections that they're using are pretty basic. You know, they're trying to throw it from a 3 or 5 step drop primarily, and then moving them out. You know, their offensive coordinator's done a good job putting the plan together. It looks like on both teams.
Yep, Jerome Jones gets stopped for a loss after a big run. He's the third running back that we've seen for Virginia Union. But Jackie, also, we know you're a great offensive lineman, went to Jackson State University. They've got one of the best programs in HBCU football right now. What about the way they've been able to pick things up after Deion's departure as head coach there?
Well, you know, we were all very excited when Deion came and had some success, obviously, with his son and him. Nice pass. Protection was good. Some pretty good protection and well-designed play. You know, so we were very excited, and you know, needless to say, there were a lot of people disappointed when he left. They didn't want to see him leave because he's bringing some spunk back to the program, and you know, it's just one of those things. You know, and everybody's looking for opportunity, and he apparently was looking for more opportunity, and he got it, and he took advantage of it. That's what it's all about. Every individual on this field right now, coaching and playing, are looking forward to opportunity. That's what it's all about, and this sport provides it.
And speaking of opportunity, we saw Ricky Key with the stop and go, the stutter step, catch that touchdown pass, 35-yarder from R.J. Rosales, as Virginia Union strikes again with the big play, and it's their kicker, Brady Myers, who was hurt on a return earlier. As Bridger reported, he's fine, coming back into play, but now we have a flag.
Delay a game
on the field.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
So we hated to see Deion leave, but he's gone now, and my understanding is that they're back on top and at Jackson State.
National champs.
Yeah, back on top. So it's all about the players and the coaches that are there. They'll get it done.
All right, Brady Myers lining up for a 5-yard longer PAT to see if he can put Union up 17-3. And the kick is good. All right, Jackie, look at the protection. We're going to show a replay right here on the screen.
Okay.
For this touchdown pass from R.J. Rosales to Ricky Key.
Right. Got turn protection. Notice they got that back coming to the backside, and all the offensive linemen went to the left. Did you see that? And that just drew the rush that way. And all that back had to do is sit there. If that guy had shrunk, they could have dumped it out right off to him. So it's a nice protection. We use that at the Rams, and for years we used that protection. It's amazing to me to see these college guys scheming up protections that are simple, that don't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback in the pocket, and gives them a chance to get the ball out, make big plays.
And Jackie, I know you love the offensive line position. We just saw Virginia Union have some success, but now as they get ready to kick off to Miles College, Miles is playing with an all-freshman offensive line.
Yeah.
What would be some of your advice that you would give these young fellas?
We got some problems there. You know, if I were the offensive coordinator with these guys, and I really wanted to run the football, maybe take some time off the clock, I'd run a lot of inside zone both ways, because now you're getting a double team with the center and the play side guard, and you can get to the line of scrimmage and you could go to the 1 shade or go to the 3 shade, whichever one of those guys is softest in there. You get 2 big bodies on him, create a nice soft pocket in the middle there, and let that back insert in there. Do that, run that, so the guys can get comfortable having success running the ball.
All right, Jackie, we're going to turn you around. We want everybody in the world to see the Pro Football Hall of Famer and the Black College Football Hall of Famer. We were told, Turner, we're seeing some of the stuff on the monitor because we have the penalty call here.
College number 33 gave a signal. The result of the play is a touchback.
All right, now, Jackie, you've been up here all week as part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's residency, but you've also leaned into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. More than 35 Black College HBCU representatives in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
What is it like to have your toe, both of your toes, in that water of two Hall of Fames here in Canton, Ohio?
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. It's validation. I played during a time when it wasn't very... you wasn't very popular to be an African American wanting to play in the offensive line, and I really didn't want to do it. But when I got to Jackson State, I had some really good mentors that taught me a lot of the tricks of the trade as offensive lineman, and then I had the opportunity to block for, in my opinion, one of the top running backs in the nation at that time, Walter Payton. And he had a way of making average blocks look spectacular, to be perfectly honest with you. But it was a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't change anything about my experiences. When I got to the Rams, our football team was loaded with some big-time, big-name players. We had just drafted 2 offensive linemen in the first round, Doug France out of Ohio State and Dennis Hara out of the University of Miami, and then, of course, they drafted Mike Fannin out of Notre Dame. So big physical linemen that had played big-time football. And then the following year, I was drafted in the 3rd round. And to have to come in there and compete with guys that have been playing pro football and that are out of talented programs around the country that you actually watch play, it was a little bit intimidating. But once we put the pads on and we start rocking and running 9-on-7 drills and one-on-one drills, and and I got in there and found out that I had been taught well enough to compete. Then my confidence just began to grow and grow and grow.
So safety, real quick. So safety Damari Mason walking off the field looked like he suffered an arm injury. Right. We'll hopefully get an update on that. Trying to make a play.
Jackie, of late we've seen a lot of NFL guys try their hand at coaching, and some of those guys have landed at HBCUs. What do you think about the trend of seeing former NFL players making their way to black colleges to coach?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, they're given an opportunity to go back and have an influence in an area where they've had a great deal of experience. I mean, these guys not only have the experience of playing their positions, but they also have the experience of having been coached by some of the best in the world and also some of the worst in the world. So they have an idea of how to go about doing it, and it's good to see them get the opportunity to do it, because if a guy wants to coach and he has a passion for it, I think the guys that have played the game in many cases are the guys that you want trying to coach your team.
Yeah, Jackie, we're looking at the screen right here. Deshaun Jackson up at Delaware State, Michael Vick at Norfolk State, and of course Chris Good, the head coach at Miles. He's making his coaching debut after playing for the Colts for so long. I mean, so I think it is intriguing. But Jackie, this is nothing new. I mean, NFL players, or NFL coaches and former players have come down to coach at the HBCU ranks for decades.
Yes, they have. We've seen that over the years, and it's been it's provided opportunity for a lot of guys. And so just like it provided an opportunity for me to come to college, go to college and play football, I certainly wouldn't have been able to, my parents wouldn't have been able to afford to send me to college. So I earned a scholarship playing football and got to get my education. And, opportunity. It's about opportunity. A lot of people like this game for a lot of reasons. I have grown to like this game because of the opportunity it provides for so many people.
Jackie, we mentioned earlier about how representation matters, and now we're talking about some of these NFL successful players going back and helping now and being head coaches at these HBCUs. How important of it do you believe that it is for these guys to go and be a representation for these young guys that are trying to ascend up the ranks?
Well, it's important for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're going to get exposed to a lot of the technical aspects that they're going to be looking at if they go to the next level. And that is critical, because there's nothing worse than being a guy that's playing a position that requires a lot of technique, unique technique for that position, and you can't expose him to that. The next thing is, he's going to find out that, hey, this guy did it. He looks like an average guy, He's a hard-working guy. He's a smart guy. He's coaching me now, and he can tell me. He can give me a lot of advice, because not only did he play in the National Football League, he played it well enough to have been around a while, and now well enough enough to be respected enough to come back and coach. So this guy can also give me some advice, because everybody's not going to play and everybody's not going to coach, but he's seen a lot of players that didn't play a coach, and he can also recognize talent in other areas and steer young men in directions that they probably, maybe never even thought about.
Okay, we got a big play right here.
Big play.
Boston slipped coverage. It looked like the catch was Tifton Dobbs on the catch there from Cameron Ivory as Miles College strikes a big play and gets back into scoring range. Jackie, when you see a game like this, right, these are Division II ball clubs, HBCUs, but the competitive nature. This is the 6th year that they've had this. A way to start the season. What can this do just to kind of escalate everything in terms of exposure, of getting these guys?
Oh, this is a great opportunity. I mean, let's put it this way. 40 years ago, this wouldn't be going on. 40 years ago, you guys wouldn't be standing here at the 50-yard line covering a college football game like this. So it's a great opportunity for guys. And, they're playing a lot. This is the most popular game in the world next to soccer, perhaps. And a lot more people are playing. I mean, we got young ladies now that's loving the game so much as they're playing flag football. And the interesting thing about it is the positions that are valuable at this level in the pros, the quarterback and the wide receivers, the girls are being the special wide receiver and girls and quarterbacks are
Jackie, we absolutely appreciate everything. We're getting ready to go to halftime. And coming back, we've got the marching bands at halftime. Right. It's a 2-minute warning. But Virginia Union's up 17-3. We're back at the Classic. Virginia Union's up 17-3. But, Black College football isn't just football. It's an event including the marching bands. You're seeing the marching bands from Miles and Virginia Union lining up. We're going to have them both live at halftime for you. Now, before we resume this drive here with Miles College, let's get an injury update from our sideline reporter, Bridget Condon.
Yeah, Steve, Damari Mason, who was injured on that last drive, is back on the field. I watched trainers look at his right elbow. He was bending it in pain. They wrapped it up, and he put that sleeve that you see there back on, his gloves back on, his helmet, and he's back ready to go for now.
Thanks so much, Bridget. Yeah, Mason, number 4 there, the Virginia Union safety, who's having a strong game. 2nd and 10 from the Union 33 for Miles. Cameron Ivory, he's got some time. Gets the ball off. It looks like Tifton Dobbs once again. And Isaiah, we're seeing more quick game on this drive.
Yeah, understandably, because the defensive front for Virginia Union has absolutely owned this first half. These guys have not been able to get the ball going on the ground game. I think they just have just over 20 yards rushing compared to 100-plus for Virginia Union offensively. They have to find a way to get the ground game going to keep them honest. Right now, they're able to pin their ears back and go forward, and it's seemingly a lot of times falling in the lap of Cameron Ivory.
Yeah, Miles, 2 timeouts left as the clock is ticking here at 1:20. 3rd and 8. Ivory drops back again. He's under pressure, trying to buy time. Tries to escape, gets around the corner, gets the ball off, and it is deflected out of bounds.
Is it Cameron Ivory? At this point, he's Tom Cruise, right? Because his mission is possible. Try to sit back there in the pocket. I mean, these guys are in his face all day long.
But we knew it was going to be tough like that. When you have 5 freshmen starting against a very experienced and physical defensive line, you're going to have some of those losses like that up front.
It looks like Chris Good, the Miles coach, is trying to figure out what to do on this 4th down. I just mentioned they've got 2 timeouts. Clock stopped, of course, with the incomplete pass. We've not seen the offense leave the field.
Miles College, their 2nd of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
So in the situation, guys, you talk about the youth of Miles, right? Again, they're the defending champs here, but in just a second, I want to get your take on, do you go for it here because you get points going into the half? And in just a second, because I've got to read this, on Friday, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs take on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo. Here,
number 3 for Miles.
It's not, the thing is, you would like to say just take the points here, but this is about a 46-yard field goal. It's not a give me, right? So you like to think that you can just go ahead and kick that and have a high percentage opportunity, but at this point, I'm going to take my chances with trying to keep this defense off kilter and try to get the first down.
Okay, 4th and 7 from the 30-yard line for Miles. Cameron Ivory takes the snap. He's got time. Oh, under pressure, takes a big hit as he shot right as he threw that.
This is just simply miscommunication. Cameron Ivory had one guy open. He wanted to get locked in on one receiver going down the middle of the field. He had one guy coming down the middle of the field on a post route, but that's not where he wanted to go with the ball. He wanted to go right on the seam route, and seemingly you had a guy sitting right here on an arrow route that was going to fall right underneath the coverage at the linebackers. That's where he should have went with the ball. He got a little bit greedy. When you're behind and you try to make something happen, you try to do too much, and unfortunately it bit him that time.
We play right to the hands of the defense. Defense is trying to be disciplined, trying to force guys to make tight window throws, and Cameron Ivory just wasn't patient enough to take what was there.
And Terrence Mays, the senior from Detroit, with the pressure coming from that D tackle spot. Gonzalez running, trying to instruct his receiver to get downfield. Picks up about 8. Virginia Union with one timeout left. It's ticking down now under 50. So if they're not going to use it now, they're going to have to hurry up. Gonzalez trying to get him set. Drops back to pass, getting ready to take a shot to the middle of the field. He gets that ball off to number 17.
To number 17.
Yeah, this is
Laverius Gilbert on the catch.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. Miles has got to keep them off the board.
Giving too many free releases. These guys are playing about 7-8 yards off in terms of the secondary.
Gonzalez again steps up in the pocket. He has the room, breaks a tackle. And he's able to get out of bounds to stop the clock after picking up the first down.
It's a huge play for RJ. Gonzalez right there. Able to look downfield, have the time to be able to work in the pocket. Now cross the line of scrimmage, get some positive yardage, and stop the clock.
They're talking about a team that only has one timeout left. That being able to scoot out of bounds saves them and gives them a chance to really get a field goal attempt out.
Now it gives you about 3 plays now, 16 seconds left in the half. You have opportunity to take some shots. You have the whole field to work with. You don't have to worry about trying to get out of
bounds. A big-time hit. What a big-time play right there from number 8 for Miles College. Big-time hit. Mitchell Moultrie just drills Rosales.
Big-time hit.
The big fella. Pressure coming off the edge. Pressure coming right up the middle.
Out of bounds. It's Union's ball. Second down.
Curtis Allen had to make a decision on who he wanted to block. He chose the guy that was coming to the B gap. Somebody came right up the A gap, and they paid a big price for it.
Yeah, Moultrie, a redshirt freshman from Douglasville, Georgia, another young player, and because it was ruled a fumble and it rolled out of bounds near midfield, 7 seconds left, still Union's ball, second down. Or is it you take a shot here or you play it safe? Because remember, Miles does have a timeout.
I think it's no harm, no foul to try to take a shot right here. The very worst, if it gets intercepted, it's like a big punt.
It's always an offensive player that says it. It's never a player. Oh, it's like a punt. It's not like a punt. It's the turnover.
Curtis Allen, the running back.
Roselle's pass is complete to number 0.
And that is it for the half. Virginia Union up 17-3 in the first half of the Clash of the Classic. Battle between the CIAA champ Virginia Union Panthers and SIAC champ Miles College. And guys, coming up, you know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it is.
Yes, sir.
We got marching bands.
I'm with it.
Oh, they were ready this morning. The hotel lobby, they were ready. You know what I'm saying? They're pre-gaming. They're pre-gaming, getting ready.
Yeah, we have Miles College marching band. Staying in our hotel.
Listen, Steve, I got a pair of twins at the house, 11-year-old Isaac and Sky. One of them's playing the saxophone, one of them's playing the trombone. They're both in the marching band at their middle school. I want them to see this.
All right. And now for those marching bands, let's send it down to Bridget Condon.
How crucial was Howard's interception just before the half to keep Miles off?
Yeah, they got a couple of big plays on defense that have 2 interceptions. That was huge, you know, just to give us a gap that we wanted. You know, this 2 touchdown gap, something we want to take to halftime. So we got to play off of that, so I feel good.
You stuck with one quarterback the entire half, RJ Rosales. We've seen some big plays from him. What do you like out of your quarterback?
He's playing. You know, he's leading us. He's directing us. We feel good about the way he's playing. Some big-time scrambles. You know, he's making some good decisions, so we feel good about that.
Mark Wright in the second half?
We playing on him.
Thank you.
Delivers results to Chua Manufacturing
saw Bridget there with Coach Parker's got to be happy after that first half. Virginia Union up. The big play. Curtis Allen lighting it up to give the Panthers that 17-3 lead. When we come back, it'll be some halftime fireworks here at the Clash at the Classic.
Welcome back to the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic, where Virginia Union leads Miles College 17-3 at halftime. Now it is my pleasure to welcome the moment we've all been waiting for, Miles College Purple Marching Machine.
Mic check, 2-1 check. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Board of Trustees, President Dr. Bobby Knight, the 15th president of Miles College, the first female president in Miles College history, students, faculty, alumni, and friends, we are elated to be here in Clanton, Ohio, to perform for you this halftime extravaganza. And now, prepare to be thoroughly entertained by the Purple Marching Machine. Let's go. Right now, picked by ESPN, your 2024 Band of the Year. It's indeed the Miles College Purple Marching Machine. Let's go. And now, on behalf of Director of Banks, Professor Willie J. Snipes Jr., Assistant Director of Banks, Professor Brian Knowles, Professor Mark Hatton, Assistant Director. We have a great show lined up for you on today with renditions of Teddy Swims, Cameo, 803 Fresh, and much, much more. Let's go. It's now time for the breakdown. Let's go. Fans, it's the Big Purple Party. It's Labor Day weekend. Get in with us. It ain't too hard for us to jam. 3, S. Dot, and much, much more. Your head drum major is Nathan Jackson. On behalf of Board of Trustees, Dr. Bobby Knight, President of Miles College, Professor Willie J. Snipes Jr., Director of Bands, we would like to thank you for your continuous support. Canton, Ohio, thank you for the invite. And now, check this sound out. All love. Remember, you can do all things through Christ. This is so long for now. Bye-bye. gentlemen, we give you divine elegance as they dance to CeeLo Green's Wildflower. Gentlemen, we give you divine elegance as they dance to CeeLo Green's Wildflower. Black college marching bands. The champions have made it here to Tom Benson Stadium. This is the pride of VUU. This is the Union. Hall of Fame, thank you for your hospitality. This has been a Union production.
Awesome performances by the ambassadors of sound and the Purple Marching Machine. Coming up next, Steve, Bucky, and Isaiah will get you ready for the second half. You're watching the 2025 Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic on NFL Network and HBCU Go.
First half of football at the Clash of the Classic here in Canton, Ohio. Virginia Union up 17-3, and let's see how the Panthers got there.
Look, man, it's all about Curtis Allen early in the game. His ability to run with power and force set the tone for the Virginia Union offense, and this is part of a theme that we saw again and again.
Yep, hopping over there, guys. Doesn't matter who it is. You better bring more than one guy, and you better not try to tackle his legs, because he is going to do exactly what you just saw on your screen. Next up, you got RJ doing his thing. RJ Rosales throwing the ball over there to Ricky Key, the big go-route guy. He's doing a heck of a job. Let's take a look at Miles.
And so you said coming in, it's going to be Cameron Keys having to make plays. Then we see him run around, finally make a play on the scramble. The scramble drill working effectively for Miles.
Yeah, I don't think this is by design. He's just finding a way to make plays. He's been under pressure and duress all night long, but he has found a way to make some plays and keep them in good down and distance.
Yes, and we've seen some plays, guys, on their defense as well to kind of limit some of these drives that Virginia Union has had.
Yeah, big Mitchell Moultrie coming through right there on a big-time blitz through the A-gap, was able to go out there and get a big hit to stop it and force a big fourth down.
Virginia Union coach said it is all about the run game, and folks, it is all about the run game. The Panthers with 182 rushing yards, Miles with just 23, and we have seen of those rushing yards, it has been Curtis Allen. He has got 126 of those rushing yards. See the time of possession. The two big turnovers there by Miles as well, the two interceptions. That's halted things because their offense has had fits and starts, but it has not been absolutely terrible.
They have not taken advantage of the opportunities. They've been close to the red zone on multiple occasions. Have either had to settle for missed field goal opportunities or just failed to get it done and turn it over on downs.
Okay, Virginia Union gets the ball coming out of the second half. Now, one thing we have not seen is quarterback Mark Wright, number 2. Coming into the game, Coach Alvin Parker told us that R.J. Rosales and Wright would rotate. It was supposed to be a 2-on for Rosales, 1 off. But so far, Rosales played the entire first half.
Yeah, Rosales hasn't had to necessarily do much. He's made some good throws when called upon, but for the most part, he's been turning around and handing the ball off to Agent Zero and Curtis Allen.
It's really easy when he goes from 126 out of 182. Hand the ball off. Feed the pig.
How many quarters have we played?
2. It's a big game coming.
All right, now Reed Grech getting ready to kick off for Miles, and he looks like he's going to kick it to Zaire Tart, the all-CIAA returner. Gets his hands on the ball with a nice run, gets it out to about the 26-yard line. We'll see who comes out for quarterback for Virginia Union. Looks like R.J. Rosales has his helmet on. Now, guys, one thing we discussed it, all the freshmen, all the young players from Miles College, as it gets into the second half of a game, and you get beat on like that, especially on the defensive front in the first half. What do you expect? How do you expect them to hold up, even after a long halftime like they just had?
Oh, I mean, look, you got to tell your team. You got to keep fighting. This is part of the maturation process. When you go with a bunch of freshmen, they can get beat up early. You hope that the lessons learned over this season help them later in the year, but really next season.
And we see Rosales back at quarterback for Virginia Union as they take over at the 25. Bad snap. He has to pick it up and keep it. He's got a little room. He's got blocking. Rosales, the 5'8" quarterback from Immokalee, Florida, with a big play there.
It just makes him hard to find, Steve. It doesn't matter if the ball is bouncing on the ground. If it comes right to his hands, he's able to get out on the edge. You see the blocking over on the left side of your screen. They do a good job of sealing the edge. He sets up his blocks, stems it to the outside, puts his foot in the ground, is able to get vertical for some positive yardage. Last time I checked, that's a first down.
I said, you act like that was planned.
No, it just works out that way.
Head off to the right to Curtis Allen, just pushing the pile. And Allen, 6'2", 215. Guys, he had 126 rushing yards in the first half. His career high is 155. You think he's going to get there?
I think so, Steve. You talking about someone who had less than 600 career yards coming to this contest. 15 touchdowns, but he had a heavy workload. Obviously, Jada Byers' presence prevents you from getting that, but he looks ready and capable.
Well, that said, he is on the watch list for the Black College Football Hall of Fame players to look for draft-eligible players. Again, this is put together by a committee of people who helps get the Legacy Bowl rosters intact and everything. And we know the Legacy Bowl is kind of the senior bowl for Black College players to get looked at by the NFL.
As he very well should be, as we see him on our screen again going for another 6-7 yards. But they have a solid offensive line, and one of the players that Coach brought up was their center in Joseph Rounds. Joseph Rounds is considered to be one of the best players on their team. Now, because he's an offensive lineman, he doesn't get a lot of tout, but he's not only snapping the ball, but he's controlling that line of scrimmage and allowing for Curtis Allen to have success that he has.
We got a player down on the field. Looks like big number 90. Shavala Kanji, see if he's okay. Yeah, so while they're tending to Shavala Kanji, let's go to break.
Media timeout.
Virginia Union up 17-3.
O-line, you're not blocking for your quarterback. You're not giving him enough time. If we can't run the ball, we can't pass the ball. That's the issues we got on offense. Defense. What in the world was that y'all did? Huh? Nobody wanted. Nobody want to tackle. Come on, man, we better than that. If y'all can't do it, we will find somebody. I can assure you that. All right? What we gonna do when we go back out? What we gonna do when we go back out? What we gonna do when we go back out? What we gonna do when we go back out? Let's go.
Hey, right here, man. Hey, that first.
Please reset the play clock to
Miles College coach Chris Good dropping some truth bombs. Isaiah, as his team trails 17-3 at the outset here in the second half.
Hey, what the young people say, keep it real. I like it. I like it. Straight, no chaser, and that's where you got to be. You have to be able to clearly communicate exactly what your expectations are for the level of play that you need.
Well, and then Virginia Union comes out. We got a nice drive going to start the second half. Hands that ball off to number 3, Ramon Brown, with a nice run off the left side.
Look, I mean, just the frustration is showing up. But this is what Virginia Union does. They lean on you, they wear on you, and eventually they make the refrigerator tip over. And physicality, toughness, big boy football at the point of attack, followed by running backs playing with violence.
3 big runs to start this drive. Rosales continues to hold it on the ground. Miles finally with a big stop right there. Mitchell Moultrie.
He's one person on that defensive line for Miles College that has been showing up consistently. We saw him come through on that blitz earlier in the game where he was able to get R.J. Rosales down. But he does a good job. He was at the second level earlier. Now he has his hand in the ground, splits the double block, and is able to get the running back down. Huge play for them.
He's a one-man army, but he needs more bodies. He needs more people.
Swing pass from Rosales, gets that ball out again to number 3 on that play, Ramon Brown, or pickup of maybe a yard on that play. So now it's going to be 3rd and long.
It's a big play for Miles College.
It really is it really is.
Teetering on the brink right now.
This game can go one of two directions right now.
Well, this will be a big confidence boost if they can make a stand after getting gashed early on in this drive on the ground. Pressure coming off the right side. Rosales scrambles. He's got room. Another big run for Rosales, and it looks like he is close to the first down marker. He had to get to the 23, and they are already moving the sticks.
Man, that has to be so frustrating. When you sit here, you win in coverage, you had everything that you want, you lose contain on the pass rush, and boom, there he goes. Rosales leaves the pocket, finds a way to get the first down, extends the drive. That situation critical for Miles College.
Moen Brown with a big blitz pickup on that, too, to help set up as Rosales under center in the I formation. Rolled left out of it. Throws that ball to his favorite receiver, Ricky Keeves. Had a solid game.
You have to believe that the defensive coordinator for Miles College, Kenneth Watson, has to be really frustrated right now. You start talking about calling up the right play. They dialed up the right play, had a blitz, had a free runner. Now on this play, they lose containment. You see here, guys were getting upfield. You lose containment, you're able to break out of there and now get the ball out to an open receiver. These are the things that you have to do right in terms of being disciplined in order to have success as a unit. One guy can have success.
Guys, we've seen Virginia Union really have some success running it off that right tackle.
I mean, they just run it wherever they want to. This is what they talked about. But I want to go back to something that Isaiah said. When we met with Dr. Alvin Park, he talked about play for 11. Yep. That's the theme and the motto of the program, playing for one another. You're talking about a 2-time CIAA champion looking for a 3-peat. He said, this is not our most talented team, not our most experienced team, but they're coming back, but they certainly understand what the expectations are. And through 2.5 quarters, they certainly are living up to those expectations and standards.
Yeah, it took them a while to kind of get their footing, and now it seems like they're feeling it. As we're seeing Rosales, who's played quarterback this whole way. We're supposed to see a rotation, but he's in kind of a groove right here. Play action. Contact with the receiver early, but nothing. Pass incomplete.
That's the first bad decision that I've seen from R.J. Rosales all day long. He was looking for his receiver to run a slant route here. He comes in, tries to stem in across the face of this cornerback. There's a little bit of contact there, but he might actually be happy because had that ball been on money, he might have been down on the field because that safety was looking right at him.
Looking right at him, and good job at the corner, playing with great leverage on the inside. Did not allow him to cross his face. It's textbook coverage by Bonds.
Okay, we're getting kind of deep in the play clock as Virginia Union is waiting to get this play in. There's 5 seconds left on the play clock. They get it off in time. Rosales, with a no-look from the snap, takes it and dumps it off to his fullback, Jalen Schoiner. The big 6', 250-pound fullback with the touchdown catch on the dump-off. Flag on the field.
Holding. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 3rd down.
Tough play. Wide receiver Lavarius Gilbert trying to get a block. But, guys, look at the outset of the play, how when Rosales takes a snap, he kind of no-looks this.
Yeah, that kills you. I mean, they ran a classic, what we call a slide route. The fullback was offset to the left side, and he came behind the line of scrimmage. Very difficult for the linebackers who are responsible for him to pick him up and identify him as an easy pass and catch for Rosales. Unfortunately, they had a penalty that pulled him back.
All right, second down from the 13-yard line for Virginia Union. Rosales takes the snap, hands it off to Allen. Who else? Scoots in front of the cone. Another score for Allen. Power run, shows the speed.
I got an idea who I may vote for the most valuable player. I mean, Curtis Allen has been as advertised. Yeah. Big, fast, and physical. Finishing with touch.
These second-level defenders have to get down here. They're sitting here waiting and allowing the offensive lineman to get up and block them. If you allow the offensive lineman to work up and get their hands on you while you're watching the running back run your way, there you have zero chance of doing your job by trying to get off an offensive lineman and get a tackle on a 6'2", 215-pound running back.
All right, Brady Myers lined up for the PAT. It is good. Score 24-3 Virginia Union. Curtis Allen putting the Panthers up 24-3. The offensive line folds them, and he takes it to the house. Number 0 for 6. Virginia Union 24-3. Virginia Union up 24-3 in the clash at the Classic on the strength of running back Curtis Allen. Let's take a look at this because Jada Byers, the Black College Player of the Year last year, 147 rushing yards in his game 2 years ago in the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic. Curtis Allen, his replacement, guys, has already bested him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's on track to have almost 300 yards if he has the equal amount of carries as last year. I mean, this dude is absolutely a problem. Not only is the offensive line doing a good job, but when he has his one-on-one battles, he's winning them.
Jada Byers does have Virginia Union single-game rushing record of 319. But, you know, Jada's gone now. This is life AB. Remember, their head coach, Alvin Park, said life AB after Byers. Off to a good start.
Look, outstanding start. But the one thing they know how to make it a one-man show if he emerges like he's had.
Okay, on the return, Jamari Riley takes it at the 5 near the sideline.
P of Intercollegiate Athletics for Virginia Union, Joe Taylor. I want to ask you, first off, 24-3 out here. What are you liking from Virginia Union?
Well, first of all, it's always good to be ahead. But again, this is the first ball game, and you can really tell that because, you know, we got to learn how to get out of our own way. I think a few too-many penalties, some uncharacteristic drops. But overall, to be ahead is never bad.
A member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame yourself, what does it mean to see so many Hall of Famers here and for this team to be able to play on this stage?
Well, first of all, to be in the Hall of Fame is full circle. To be in with such great, players, coaches, I'm just really blessed. And again, I look at it as full circle. And for our young men to get a chance to come and participate on this stage, it's not just national. This is international with the NFL Network. So again, I'm always very grateful when I see young people enjoying their experience, and certainly this is part of it.
When we talked to Coach Alvin Parker this week, we asked him who his mentor was, and he said you. He said, how cool is it that you're just 10 feet away in the same building? He can walk down to your office and ask questions. What have you liked about how he's evolved this program, and what does it mean to be his mentor?
Well, the smartest thing
your office and ask questions. What have you liked about how he's evolved this program, and what does it mean to be his mentor?
Well, the smartest thing I did was hire him, okay? But the bottom line is, when he came in, he had a real tall hill to climb because this program lacked discipline. But I was telling the young men how fortunate they are because here's a guy that has a doctorate degree. And you probably can use one hand and count all the head coaches in America that has a doctorate degree.
Steve, we'll send it up to you right now, and then we'll come back down because I know you want to take this away.
Yeah, we had a big play right here. Looked like Michael Estrada from Virginia Union recovered the fumble and almost got it into the end zone. Let's take a look at this play, guys.
Most important thing on the field is the ball. You have to protect the ball. Don't see the blind side. You can't hold it like a loaf of bread because guess what? Somebody got some butter.
And that was your guy, Kamari Frederick, also, who forced a fumble.
I mean, just talking about Zachary Weaver picking it up, but knocking it out. You talk about loose ball security. You talk about Chris Gould being mad. Oh, he's going to be mad when he has to go back and look at his tape because these are the things that you can control. You can take care of the ball. Ball security should be coveted at a premium.
All right, Bridget, let's send it back to you and Coach Taylor.
You were just talking about Dr. Parker. I know there's a specific story you want to share there.
Well, the fact that I tell the young men that here they are so fortunate because you could use probably one hand and list all of the head coaches in America that has a doctorate degree. When you have a doctorate degree, that simply means that he has the capacity to build himself. He's probably got a blueprint to help build you. So they are so fortunate to be in a room every day.
Greatest coaches ever, but while that was going on, it's like Trey Jones recovers a fumble by Curtis Allen, who went airborne again and worked the first time.
Yeah, see, sometimes there's some coaches that we know that don't like you to jump, particularly when you get near the goal line. I think Isaiah Stanback played for one. Bill Belichick would say we're not putting the ball out and putting the ball in harm's way. That's what happens when you leap. The ball gets away from his body. He comes down, can't protect it, and they knock it out.
Elijah Swain came through, got a shoulder on the ball, and was able to knock it loose. Try to make a big play. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to make sure that you protect the number one thing in the field, and that's that ball.
Trey Jones with the recovery. Edward Osley going nowhere. It's number 9 for Virginia Union. Terrence Mays. Boy, these D tackles for Virginia Union have been causing problems.
Well, it's just what Dr. Parker talked about. He talked about the strength of the team being up front on defense. And we've called these names over and over again. Kamari Frederick, Terrence Mays, Zachary Weaver. Their trio up front has been a problem.
Yeah, but it looks like Frederick down.
Cramps. Names over and over again. Kamari Frederick, Terrence Mays, Zachary Weaver. Their trio up front has been a problem.
Yeah, but it looks like Frederick down. Cramps on the field. Yeah, Virginia Union up 24-3. Had a great opportunity after recovering a fumble to punch it in the end zone. But Kurt Salem, one of the few things he's done wrong today, returns it back to Miles College with a fumble.
Yeah, there's one hurdle too many. Apparently, he got away with one earlier in the game, but looks like the halftime adjustments was to make sure you get a hat on the ball.
All right, we are down to the final 10 in the countdown of the top 100 players of 2025. Here's a list of the players in alphabetical order. Who's number 1? Find out Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
It's a good list right there.
A whole lot of non-quarterbacks on that list.
Yeah, a lot of lists.
Buddy.
Look at old Saquon. Saquon reappeared on the top 10. Look at that. Okay. All right.
Maybe because of his league.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
How about that? Only one defender, though. We don't like defense evidently when it comes to
They got two. They got two.
Oh,
They got Myles Garrett and Patrick Surtain.
Oh, Patrick.
Come on, man.
Okay,
got PS2 on there.
You know what's crazy when, we're doing all our prep for the season and stuff, and you look back and you see Lamar Jackson, 41 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions.
And didn't win.
Didn't win because Josh Allen's earned it.
He did. I mean, both of those guys had great seasons. I'm not sure how you follow up a season like Lamar Jackson had, but I'm sure that they're working hard to try to figure it out.
Well, they're going to follow it up with a Super Bowl. That's what it is. It's the best roster in football. Philadelphia Eagles notwithstanding, they have to find a way to get it done in the postseason.
All right, Terrence Mays, we see him walking off the field. Maybe it was just cramps. Hopefully we'll get an update on that as it's 2nd and 10 now for Miles College from the 6-yard line. They really need to get a long drive going here and get some points on the board. Cameron Ivory takes the snap under pressure again. Ivory tries to escape, launches it deep for number 80, James Gatewood. A flag on the field, but Gatewood, does he come up with it? They're knotted up.
Time goes to the offense.
Yeah, the freshman from Miami had some big catches today. And the initial signal was a DPI, offensive pass interference.
What a valiant effort trying to come up and take the knees out of the defensive end right there. Just can't get it done, but buys enough time for Cameron Ivory to be able to make a play.
Defense, number 10. The penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah, that was defensive end Micah Penix for Virginia Union putting the pressure on Ivory, but Ivory threw a nice ball to Gatewood again. Got a connection early. You haven't seen that in a while.
No, you haven't seen that, but one thing that's common is my man Cameron Ivory's running for his life in the pocket. It's just hard to make plays when you don't have time to process the route.
Another deep shot. Got some contact down here, but did he come up with the catch anyway?
Glenn Williams, Mr. 4-3-2. You sit back here, you haven't had a lot of time. They're trying to run stunts on that front line.
Defense, number 14. The penalties declined. The play results in a first down.
Trying to pass block as much as you can, but at this point in time, so many things have gone wrong for you at the offensive line front. At this point, just take your shots down the field. Give a 50-50 ball. Give your receivers a chance to make a play, or you might get lucky and get a pass interference. They've been able to get both on these last two plays.
Yeah, 32-yard completion. That last one, a 29-yard completion. So those two chunk plays where they can actually decline those DPIs goes to show you just talking about Isaiah is Ivory throws a little dump off to Osley.
Keep taking your shots. If you're Miles College, take your shots. You have nothing to lose right now. You're down by 21. We're halfway through the third quarter. You need to make up some big plays. There's no way you're controlling the line of scrimmage. Push the ball down the field, and hopefully some good things happen for you.
All right, 2nd and 5. Ivory takes the shotgun, hands it off. No play action. Throws it behind Andrews, who was open.
That's a missed opportunity. That was a touchdown. You put that ball in the right location on the upfield shoulder as he's running across the screen. You guys are going to see it. It's going to come across the front of the screen here. If he puts it out in front of him, he runs out the back chute. That's a big-time touchdown. All he has to do is break the one tackle.
Yeah, Quincy Jefferson on the coverage, but had that ball been in front, Andrews could scoop too. So him in the open field would be dangerous. Now it is 3rd and 5. I think this is 2-down territory at this point as well. Stops the play.
Timeout. Virginia Union, their first of the half.
We'll see if Miles College can continue this drive going when we come back from this break as they trail 24-3 to Virginia Union.
Because we believe investors deserve better.
You go.
Back here at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. It is the meeting between the CIAA champs Virginia Union and SIAC champs Miles College. And let's take a look at how Miles got here in the championship game on Clark Atlanta's first possession. Keith Green pressures quarterback David Wright and forces the fumble. William Hardy picks it up and goes 48 yards for the score. And next, Golden Bears running back Gennaro Scott finds the end zone twice with 5- and 6-yard touchdown runs. And finally, Miles running back Javante Leatherwood also contributes, adding a 4-yard touchdown and a 2-yard TD catch as Miles wins their 5th SIAC championship, beating Clark 53-25. That allowed them to host their first ever Division II playoff game, which they also won.
Those all-black unis were sick.
That probably reminds you of days that you do.
Yeah, buddy, that purple did it.
Cameron Ivory dropping back to pass, takes a shot deep.
It's a good ball.
Had a receiver. Looked like that was for Glenn Williams, number 10. Good coverage on that play. Looked like
had a switch release here. Glenn Williams does a good job on the left side of the screen. It's hard to see, but he does a good job of stacking him. The ball could have been put a little bit better, but that's a very difficult play. Good coverage. Force him to the sideline.
Yeah, Quincy Jefferson, the 6'3" graduate student from Richmond, the hometown of Virginia Union, with the coverage on that play. Miles College is lining up with Reed Breck, trying what would be about a 45-yard field goal. Had to call a timeout. The play clock, guys, was running down to 0. The decision to go for it.
Miles
took some time.
They're first at the half.
You have to take that timeout because you can't afford 5 yards when you're already kicking a 45-yarder. Yep.
You're never on the outside when you can connect with the insiders. Tom Pelissero, Judy Batista, Mike Garafolo, and Ian Rappaport, plus live reports from all over the NFL landscape. The Insiders, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. That's right, we're talking college football today, but we got the NFL coming up. It's the first time we've done a simulcast with HBCU Go.
With his offense. More distribution, the better. People need to see this brand of football. These guys are fully capable of going out, and obviously we've seen some of the Hall of Famers that have been around and seen the level of play that they had. Now they get these young guys have opportunity, and these two platforms, NFL Network and HBCU Go, gives them opportunity for everybody to have all eyes on them.
Miles coach Chris Good changes gears on 4th and 5, sends the offense back out. Cameron Ivory drops back.
Oh,
hits up the 4.
Scoop and score.
Garkey, big hit. Big time hit. Looked like 27. Jameer Melendez. Wow. That is how you stifle momentum. Jameer Melendez says, you know what? I'm going to give you something to go to break with. VUU 24-3 here at the Clash at the Classic. All right, you're looking at some of the alumni from historically black colleges, appeared in the postseason in 2024. Joshua Williams with the Kansas City Chiefs from Fayetteville State, a Division II program. Trent Scott, Xavier Smith, Bucky, an MVP from the HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Yeah, but how about Elijah Williams making it from Morgan State, being able to step up and make a roster? You just don't see guys take advantage of opportunities like that all the time. But you talk about getting it out the mud, getting out the muck. He was able to do it, make it the roster.
Yeah, Elijah Williams out of Morgan State last year, the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, made the Minnesota Vikings as an undrafted D tackle. He was the star of the HBCU Legacy Bowl, which is broadcast on NFL Network in February. And I'm telling you, Isaiah, you talk about a guy who disrupts practice where you can't get anything done.
Nothing.
He was him. He was him. As we're seeing, Rosales still in it, quarterback. He hands this ball off.
By number 8, Mitchell.
Trying to figure out who's...
Keep rotating backs through.
Yeah. Sending different guys through. You remember he said 6 talented guys could play. Oh. The other thing could be in play.
Yeah, Tavon McGee, 36, is in running back right now.
He's just coming down here. You see him get a shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Trying to lower the hat right there. Very difficult when these guys get behind their pads with nobody impeding their progress but you. You're that guy. What does that feel like, Buck, when you got to stop a guy in the middle of a...
Doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. I noticed Curtis Allen is back in the game. And just what Union is able to do in terms of being able to rotate big backs, productive backs.
Curtis Allen with a lot of lead blocking in front of him, picks up 7 with the play. And speaking of that offensive line, that we're here for Virginia Union, Matthias Nelson from Denmark.
And Denmark Destroyer.
Playing right tackle number 57. Savion Moore playing left tackle. Adrian Crespin, a preseason, the right guard, all CIAA player.
Yeah.
I mean, they have got a lot of talent. As we saw face-to-face, they've got a lot of size up front as well.
Yeah, we heard Mr. Slater speaking about it earlier. These guys' ability to be able to work together and get up to the next level. We're seeing these guys now do pulls with their guards, get up around the edges, and be able to create runs like we're seeing right now.
Curtis Allen again.
There's nothing more demoralizing than when another team decides that they're going to run the ball. Everyone in the stadium knows you're running it, and you can't stop them. And it only gets worse as we get later and later into the game.
You see right here on your screen, they lose leverage, and next thing you know, the running back's up on to your secondary. There's no way in the world that a cornerback wants any smoke with Curtis Allen when he's toting the rock for the last 10 yards.
But what about his vision? You saw that defensive end from the right side crash right into where he was supposed to go, and he bounced it.
Yeah, no, he does a good job. He's showing patience. He's showing vision. Again, you know, unfortunately, Miles University is showing, Miles College is showing that these guys are not being disciplined with their edges. And you start allowing these guys to get out on the edges like we see right now.
See right now.
Big plays. You're going to continue to see them pulling their guards, continue to see them pulling their tackles, because they're going to be able to work up to the next level. Once you seal the edge, Curtis Allen can do whatever he wants.
It's Trayvon Tinsley on that run. But let's send it down to our sideline with Bridget Compton, who's got a great story on Matthias Nielsen.
Yeah, Steve, right tackle Matthias Nielsen wants to play in the NFL, but coming from Denmark, he knew the only way to chase that dream was to play college ball in the States. He emailed over 300 coaches, got about 50 responses, one of those from Virginia Union, and he's here now making that dream a possibility almost.
Love that, love that. Trayvon Tinsley on the carry. But Matthias Nielsen, again, it goes to the globalization of football.
Number 6 for Miles, helmets off.
So we know that's a big deal in the NFL, but collegiately, this is the way, the kind of the farm system to come up. And for him to go to a D2 school in Richmond, Virginia, and to do the things he's doing, look, really great story.
Yeah, hats off to them. I mean, just talk about the global game and people looking for opportunities. That's what Jackie Slater talked about. Having a chance to come to HBCU to live out their dream certainly is going to be encouraging to other international players.
Let's not act like he just came across to another state. This dude came from Denmark. he emailed from Denmark.
I'm just saying.
So I want to come to the United States and play ball. Will you give me an opportunity? You talk about opportunity, that's all you want to ask for. And that's what we heard from Coach Parker. He said, if you ask for anything more than an opportunity, you're showing that you're privileged.
Yeah. Okay, we got a stoppage in play right here. But real quick, too, with Matthias Nielsen, it doesn't hurt when you say my specs are 6'5", 295.
Not at all. Not at all. Talk about some of his nicknames. Denmark Destroyer, the Nordic Nightmare. I mean, there's a reason why he's out here as a starter. He's not just on the roster. He's out here making an impact for his team.
I can't wait to see him at a step show. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just figuring drumline step show.
What's he playing?
I don't know. I just know he got to be showing out somewhere.
On my whistle.
You know?
Okay, Virginia using driving again down to the 16. Rosales still in at quarterback. That quarterback rotation we were told was going to happen has not happened. And Mark Wright, number 2, has not come off the bench.
You see, we've been talking about things coming full circle. We talk about Matthias Nielsen. His first game in the United States here in college was at this game back in 2023. So now he's back again playing in the Clash of the Classics, and he's up here going against Miles College on national television, coming from another country. Big ups to that young man, not only for seeking his dreams, but executing them.
Moen Brown in at running back, running the ball. So Rosales drops back. Got time. Scrambles to his left. Lets it sail out of bounds. Kills the clock. 3rd and 8 now from the 13-yard line.
And look, from a defensive perspective, what is Miles?
You have an all-CIAA kicker. You don't want to give him a touchdown, but you're trying to push them back. At the worst, you're talking about a field goal. You're trying to stay in the fight.
Right, minute 17 left in the 3rd quarter. You saw Miles coach Chris Good looking at his defense. Rosales with a quick slant. Quick ball out to number 1, Keon Davis. Again, quick catch. Gets it inside the 5 to the 2. First down, 1st and goal for the Panthers.
There's just too much space. There's just pitch and catch. He literally receives the ball, is able to turn and throw the ball like he did in routes on the air in warm-ups when there was no defense. You're down here in the red zone. You're backed up. You can't allow 8 yards of space. If you're a defensive back and there's only 10 yards that they have to go to score, your heels can't be on the goal line. You need to be up, playing a physical presence at the line of scrimmage and making sure these guys don't get a clean release at a specific position.
Looks like they're short a man on the front line. You only have 10 on the field.
That's McGee on the carry.
Big hit by
Scholars only had 10 on the field. There was a huge gap right in the A gap.
Yeah, now they're making the substitutions to level up.
There you go, get ready for the tush push.
Level up.
There you go, get ready for the tush push.
You gotta like this. Tush push formation.
Oh yeah, this is a dead all day. And we're gonna see how, we talk about those freshmen. Those freshmen coming in, they struggling trying to figure out how to deadlift and squat. We're gonna see real quick what their difference is.
There's nobody over the center. So it should be easy. One thing about the tush push is that at the point of the spear, you need somebody to have some point of resistance. There is nobody over the center on that plate.
R.J. Rosales, all 5'8" of him, in for the score on the quarterback sneak with a little help from his friends.
Number 15 from the defense helmets came off. He must sub out.
Rosales puts Union up 30-3 before the PAT.
You gotta see right in the middle of your screen, the center had nobody that he had to block. He just had to go forward, and Rosales just had to stay in his hip pocket and just walk forward for a touchdown.
And who is that center for Virginia Union, by the way?
Joseph Rounds.
They say he'd like to put his paws on folks.
Coach Alvin Parker said that is his best offensive lineman.
Put my paws on him.
Brady Myers for the PAT, 31-3. 16 seconds left in the third quarter. Virginia Union ahead. Bridget Condon, what do you got for us?
Steve, R.J. Rosales told me 3 years ago he was sleeping on a couch, working construction, up at 4 a.m., grinding through 3 workouts a day. He told his mom he might need to step away from football, but then was on his social media and saw a DM from none other than head coach Alvin Parker. He said less than an hour later, they were on the phone. Parker said, "Are you ready to be a Panther?" Rosales says he models his game after Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, but at the end of the day, he tells me, "I'm just RJ."
Great story. Okay, now, guys, are you more taken by the fact that Alvin Parker was able to find this young man working all these jobs down in Immokalee, Florida, or the fact that RJ compares his game to Lamar Jackson and some of these other players?
I think it's amazing that you have 2 stories that we just talked about in the form of R.J. Rosales and Matthias Nielsen. Both of these guys sought out their opportunities. That should be motivation for anybody at home that is looking for a chance to do anything. It doesn't just fall on your lap. You have to seek it out. And kudos to those young men for seeking it out, and kudos to Coach Parker for acknowledging the talent and giving them opportunity.
All right, Myers kicking it off for Virginia Union. This will be caught by Glenn Williams, who's going to return it. Oh, he takes a big shot at the 12-yard.
And so you're going to have some of these things. You, Coach Good, we talked about it at the beginning of the program. 70 freshmen on your roster. I mean, more than 2/3 of your roster are first-time players that you're having out here. So you're going to have some of these growing pains and new experiences. And so you're going to have some patience as they grow up. And see if eventually, by the middle of the season, they can begin to have a level of success.
Well, based on a halftime speech, I don't know how much.
About to say.
Cameron Ivory with the handoff.
I was about to say, I'm not sure if you listen to the same halftime speech.
I mean, I'm hoping that coach will change his tune as we get into this.
All right. Virginia Union up 31-3 after 3. We'll be back at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic for the final quarter of this game between the SIAC and CIAA champs.
Here we go. You talk about Virginia Union running back Curtis Allen showing up and showing out. You talk about Jada Byers. Who? Curtis Allen has shown up and has put on a terrific display of running. Physicality, toughness, contact balance, everything that you want to see. Speed, quickness, burst, being able to put it in the paint. He's done it all. This is a guy that is having a terrific game and really setting the tone for Virginia Union season. I know we talk about Jada Byers being an all-timer, but maybe Curtis Allen is making a play to be the GOAT, as he has the most rushing yards that we've seen in a Black College Hall of Fame game.
Oh, he's making the case. Yeah. He's up 30 on Jada. Up 33 on Jada Byers. I mean, last year you had Jimo Williams. You saw had 150. So one thing we see about this game, when a running back gets hot, he gets hot.
Hot hand in a dice game.
All right, Cameron Ivey trying to get anything going for Miles right now.
We like to see them get back to taking their shots down the field. I know you want to have some completions, you want to move the chains, but when you're down by 28 with 14 minutes left, you have to push the ball down the field.
Quick completion to his tight end, Terran Brown, the third tight end on the depth chart. Ivy on 3rd and 2. Hands it off. Daylight finally for Gennaro Scott.
There we go.
Breaks off a nice run off left tackle. That's got to be somewhat encouraging for a Miles offense, especially Gennaro Scott, because he's been bottled up, and he's somebody they've really been trying to get going.
Yeah, they come off to the weak side of the defense. Linebackers kind of got caught up trying to in the wash. He's able to get out to the edge and get some positive yardage and stop the clock.
And look, so at some point in this game, if you're head coach Chris Good, you go from playing this game to really setting the table for how you want to play the rest of your season. So you want to see your team continue to fight. You want to see if you can get some positive things going into the next week. A touchdown would be nice. Yep. Some big plays would be nice. Something where you look at the film tomorrow that you can build upon.
All right, Gennaro Scott gets the ball again. He gets wrapped up right away, though. It looks like Micah Penix, who's really come on in the second half. But for more on Gennaro Scott, let's send it down to Bridget Condon.
Steve, just a month after winning the SIAC championship last season, he tells me he hit rock bottom, spent 7 days in a mental health facility. Tells me there were nights I thought I wasn't going to make it, but that small voice inside kept saying you will. Now he says football is no longer just a game, but a platform. His message, don't take life for granted. Trust God. There's nothing you can't come back from.
Wow. Great story and good for Gennaro Scott to get things back together as he takes this run right here. It's about 5 yards on that. But the young man open and willing to talk about that, too. I think that's really important and good. Again, good on him.
It's a battle is obviously a story of perseverance and being able to overcome your hurdles in your life. Everybody has something that they're dealing with, but it's awesome to see him out here now starting to have some success here in the fourth quarter. To your point, Bucky, the approach has to be, let's get some positive things on film that we can build off of, because obviously they're not trying to take any shots down the field.
Got Cameron Ivey. 3rd and 6. Drops back. Gets the ball out to number 10, Glenn Williams. Williams has quietly had a good game. I mean, the score doesn't reflect it, but Williams has really been strong in the return game and the receiving game. Again, one of 3 players who came over with Coach Chris Good from the Elite Prep Academy.
Yeah, you got to feel good about what he's put on display. In the return game, catching passes out the slot, being able to make some things happen. One of the things you're trying to do is identify the playmakers as you're going forward. He certainly has carved out a nice little role for himself. I would expect to see more balls head his way.
Ivey, low snap, goes and gets it, sets up the screen. Oh, it was set up there, too. Pass incomplete, drop by Gennaro Scott.
And one thing about screen plays is they are timing plays. So that ball being snapped on the ground, it throws off the continuity of absolutely everything that you're trying to do. If it's not perfect, then it's not going to work.
All right, now, guys, we talk about rhythm and getting things going, a positive sign. It's 31-3, but establishing something on this drive. I mean, you've got a Virginia Union team that's got its ears pinned back. How key is it to get some tempo and to get something positive going in that regard?
I mean, like, it's just one of those things where, okay. I mean, it's just one of those things where you just want to try and find something that you can build upon. The confidence is always fragile after a loss. And so you want to see if you can make good decisions. Let's see if we can string together some positive plays. Let's take our eyes off the scoreboard and let's focus on the performance, see if we can get it up to the standard.
That's one way to look at it, Buck. But if I am the Miles College team right now, I am competitive. competitive. I want to take my shots. Early on in the game, when the game was still relatively close, they had back-to-back plays where they took shots down the field, and they not only made the contested catches, but they also received the pass interference call that they were able to defer. You have not seen them take any shots down the field since then. I want to see them be a little bit more aggressive.
3rd and 10 on the 44. Ivory.
They've been knocking the quarterback around. They're donkey kicking the offensive line. We're struggling. We're down 31-3. We just want to get positive.
Get him on the edge.
Real quick, got a flag on the field here. Let's see what the call is. You know, Miles has gotten bailed out on some plays by
There is no foul on the play.
Okay, no foul on the play. So 4th down. Punt team coming out. Scotty Jackson.
You want to see your punt team too, Lucky?
I mean, what do we, yes.
Stop.
We got to go through it. We got to play this.
I understand what you're saying. So
we got all these freshmen.
I get it. So
70 freshmen.
Experience matters, right? So for those that are watching at home, like, you want to have some plays that you can go back and coach up. You understand that this game is starting to get out of hand for you on the Miles College side of things. But what can we go back and evaluate? We still have things that we have to be able to call. You still have assignments. You want to see, did you have a middle error? Was your technique right? Did you execute your assignment? These are all things that are going to be coached up to ensure that you don't have any more games that are starting to happen as long as this one.
All right, the punt goes out of bounds. Virginia Union is going to be taking over at around the 27-yard line. Up 31-3, and we'll see if Virginia Union finally makes that quarterback change. Well, we got a flag on the field. Let's see if Virginia Union gets the ball. We've got a Big Ten crew out here making the calls today, led by referee Jason Gant. He's going to let us know what's going on.
Personal foul. Illegal blocking out of bounds. Virginia Union number 3. 15-yard penalty. 1st down, Virginia Union.
All right, so as explained, Virginia gets the ball. They're just down, backed up 15 more yards after that play. We'll find out now who's coming in quarterback for Virginia Union. Up 31-3 early in the 4th quarter.
Yes, I do. Said I need it.
With Chase, you can get a debit card for your kids' independence.
We're back at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic, and there you see some of the Black College Football Hall of Famers. Robert Brazile, Mel Blount, waving their hands in their black jackets. Greg Coleman, the first black punter in the NFL, throwing up that FAMU Rattler. Parnell Dickinson backed up Doug Williams at Tampa Bay, Mississippi Valley. And here's this year's class. Henry Dyer, Rasheed Mathis, Jaquay Nunn. And it is absolutely a great honor to be involved with the Black College Football Hall of Fame selection committee with those guys. And now, for Virginia Union, finally, quarterback Mark Wright, who was the starter at this point last year, got hurt in their playoff game last year against Wingate. R.J. Rosales took over. It has been R.J. Rosales' job ever since. So Wright coming in with the team up 31-3. He hands the ball off. It looks like to Curtis Allen. And now let's send it down to Bridget Condon on the sideline.
Steve, I'm here with the 2 commissioners from the SIAC and from the CIAA. We have Jackie McWilliams Parker and Dr. Anthony Holloman. First, guys, we were just listening to a little 2-step, and I see both of you getting a little rhythm. I don't know that we would see any other commissioners with that kind of rhythm. What does it mean for the world to be able to see what HBCU football is all about on this national level?
It's an exciting time for us to have this kind of stage and the partnership that we have with the NFL. I mean, we get to watch our championship teams from last year play. This has been a dream for Anthony and I to see our championship teams come together, and what a great platform to do that and see these people in the stands and the community be a part of it.
Yeah, what does it mean to have earned a spot here and not just an invitation?
So this is great for us. Our best teams are here. This game is not as competitive as I would like, but I'm excited to have this opportunity for the SIAC to put its best against the CIAA.
What do you want people to learn about each of your respective colleges in Miles College, Virginia Union?
So they are representatives of our collection. So we have 47 HBCUs from the HBCU for us. I have 15, Jackie has 12, and we have great institutions, and so we're so proud of our student athletes.
Time out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a place where the culture in the community is just that. Like, we really care about our student athletes. I mean, when they come here, we take care of them, and we try to provide these opportunities for them, and collectively we try to provide the opportunities for them. So it's a blessing to be able to lead these two HBCU conferences and have this camaraderie together and watch our teams compete throughout the year.
And for you, and I know that Miles College isn't your only college in the SIAC, but for you now to have Chris Good, a former NFL player, someone who played at Alabama, be able to, teach these kids that they can do that too. What does that mean?
So we're very fortunate to have Coach Good and 5 other former NFL players leading our league's teams. And so we're just thankful to have people experience and exposure because we're trying to build character in our young men. And I think Coach Dude is a shining example.
Coach Dude, is that what we're calling him? He's a dude. Coach Good is a dude.
He is. He is.
I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great conversation, Bridget.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Jackie, the commissioner of the CIAA, guys, was a hooper at Hampton. She's the first female commissioner for the CIAA.
Did a really good job with the CIAA, some of the exposure that has happened for the conference under her watch. Virginia Union is a great representative of their conference as they're putting it down tonight. But they've done it for the last few years.
Guys, you've seen Mark Williams come in the fourth quarter at quarterback with R.J. Rosales starting the first 3 quarters. And it sounds like they're playing a little catch-up in the passing game. They're up. They are up 31-3, and we've seen him take a deep shot, throw another pass right there on that possession.
I mean, but Mark Wright, as you mentioned earlier, was their starter last year, and he's an effective passer. Somebody who had 65% passing efficiency, almost 66 last year. And somebody who had 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions prior to him getting injured. So he's somebody who has proven himself as a passer. I don't think that they necessarily care about the score right now. They want to see can he continue to do what he did last year.
No, and it shouldn't take their foot off the gas. This isn't necessarily about Miles. This is about Virginia Union trying to become the best version of themselves. And the only way that you can get good, you have to do those things. And look, those backups and the other people that are in, they work hard in practice too. They deserve an opportunity to play and do the same things as the starters had an opportunity to do.
Raphael Tucker now in at running back. And guys, Alvin Parker told us they're 4 deep. And Tucker is the 4th running back on that roster. We have seen a number of helmets pop off of players
the same
Miles College.
person. Javante Cooper, I'm not sure what kind of chin strap he has, but that's at least the second time that we've seen his helmet come off.
We got to tighten it up. Sacrifice some swag for the function.
Has to come off for play.
Maybe he just wants to see his face on national TV. No.
Tighten up their straps, their chin straps.
Anytime you get some FaceTime on national TV, man, you can't nobody see through your face mask.
Oh.
And he's talking. He's no help.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Last time I saw that was Richard Sherman and Trent Williams. It didn't go the way we thought.
Yeah, you might want to keep that helmet on if you're going to be talking the talk here. Okay, first and 10 for Virginia Union from the 35. Mark Wright, senior from Atlanta, trying to get a drive going, put some points on the board. 8:56 left in the game. Right, hands the ball off.
Yeah, nice.
You see the surge up front by the offensive line for Virginia Union. They're not letting up. It doesn't matter whether they're handing it off or whether they're passing the ball. This offensive line has done an amazing job of establishing exactly what they want the character of their line to be. They are controlling the trenches, and if you can control the trenches, you can control the ball game.
Speaking of character, I'm looking at Mark Wright right here. Steve, you didn't notice, but I used to scout the one and only Isaiah Stanback in college. And I think Isaiah used to rock that one sock up, one sock down silliness that we're seeing right now. I think I can't believe Coach Willian would let him get away with something like that when we have a uniform standards.
Listen, if I had one sock up, one sock down, it's because somebody was grabbing at my legs. That was it.
Right, hands that ball off to Ramon Brown, who has a nice run. You know, the one one sock up, one sock down thing, that was a DC thing. All the DC hoopers, Lawrence Moten, all those guys back in Syracuse, all those guys used to have the one sock up, one sock down thing.
I didn't have a lot of swag in terms of my apparel. I was not a swag person. I was swag less. Like I said, if my uniform was out of order, it's because I was getting pulled on and tackled and everything else.
Well, speaking of swag, that's one thing we heard about R.J. Rosales, the starting quarterback for Virginia Union. Like, he's got some gusto to him, which is one of the reasons why they like him as their starter. Mark Wright in there right now with the one sock up, one sock down.
No, but it's
dropping back. Steps up. Nice run. Plows into the defender, too.
Yeah, they probably have a no slot rule at Virginia Union. Folks.
He dipped the shoulder and fell for 4 yards after running through the chest cavity of the defender.
Looked like Brandon Parnell, a true freshman.
I'm telling you, man.
Texas.
And sitting in the production meeting when we talked to Dr. Alvin Park, he talked about tough, physical, and smart. That's what, when we look at his team, those are the things that we've seen. And we've seen it. Man, you don't run for over 300 yards and physically pound on Miles if you're not about that life.
First and 10 for Virginia Union. 48-yard line of Miles. Mark Wright. Hands that ball off again. Nice run, good speed. Ramon Brown had some nice carries as well. Isaiah, we went back, we looked at the offensive line. Now Savion Moore, who was at left tackle, has moved back to his natural spot at right tackle. And Trayvon Callis, a 6'8", 330-pounder, a sophomore, is now in at left tackle. He's someone they have tremendously high hopes for.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about young men who have the opportunity at this D2 level to be able to work their way up to possibly going up a division or working their way up to other opportunities. He's one of those guys that when he walks in a room, he literally takes up the space in the room. And you identify him as a potential baller. Now you have opportunity to see exactly what he can do in the game.
Right when under center, looked like a bad exchange, bumped into his tailback on that play.
Yeah, this is the play they've run a few different times. It's almost like a lead draw. They kind of slow up, delay it, fake it, then they hand it off late. The timing is just off, just a misconnection. Get a running back, and
Blockman was there though.
See, look, and that might have been right. That's the first time we've seen him in that formation. He's been on ice for the first 3 quarters, so that's got to be something he's got to work through.
But as I mentioned, the blocking was there, and again, you're seeing it on that replay that the second-level defenders who for Miles is just simply sitting back. You want to see those guys playing downhill, being more aggressive, especially when you give up 350 yards rushing.
Right. Drops back, taking a shot deep, wide open. Number 1, Keon Davis. To the house.
We just out here having a party. Virginia Union throwing bombs. And I know what you're saying, Isaiah. It's 5 minutes left. Why don't we just run it out? But Virginia Union is saying, no.
Mark Wright at quarterback.
No, we are letting this thing fly because we want to make sure we continue to maximize all the time. Mark right here going down the boundary. They run a little switch concept. Keon Davis wide open, hits him in the basket, and then he finishes off with the old Isaiah stand-back spike in the corner of the end zone.
That's nice. Ball's a little bit thrown behind him, but it doesn't matter. He was open by about 10 yards, and when you're that open, just put the ball in the vicinity, go make a play, and then you can do whatever celebration you want to because you are ahead.
Brady Myers lining up for the PAT. It is good. 38-3, Virginia Union. And we're going to take a look one more time at Mark Wright to Keon Davis for yet another big play touchdown as Virginia Union goes up 38-3 in the clash at the Classic.
Calling all fall fanatics.
You see the display of the Black College Football Hall of Fame and some of the greats who played at HBCUs and the Miles College players, all these freshmen getting a chance to see some of the great things that have happened at all levels of pro football, what we call football heaven here at Canton, Ohio, as the sun starts to set here on what's been a beautiful afternoon. 38-3, Virginia Union, the champs of the CIAA, trying to three-peat, putting one on the champs of the SIAC, 31-3. I'm sorry, 38-3. Brady Myers kicking off again. He's had to do that a lot today. Ball's going to go out to the 25-yard line. And then we will be right back for more of the fourth quarter right after this break. It's the biggest NFL fantasy season ever, and we've got all the info you need to dominate your league. From lineup advice to waiver wire targets and sleepers to watch out for, our experts have all your fantasy needs covered. NFL Fantasy Live, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, only on NFL Network. Well, speaking of fantasy football, we've seen some here today from Virginia Union. Their running back, Curtis Allen, their offense hanging 38 points, including that deep touchdown pass from Mark Wright to Keon Davis on the last possession. Flag down on the field.
False start. Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Miles College with 5:02 left has made a change at quarterback as Brinley Vandiver, a 6'6", 210-pounder from Highland Community College, now lining up under center. Cameron Ivory done yeoman's work for 3.5 quarters. Vandiver with the handoff. Gets to number 2, Lavarian Logan on the carry.
Yeah, so we talked about the last 4.5 minutes, how to play this out. It'd be great to see them have a drive, new quarterback in, see what you can build upon. Remember, all those freshman offensive linemen in the game, just trying to build upon something to get you going into practice next week.
Vandiver rolling right, lets it rip. Okay. Gets the ball to number 11, Quindavius Swain. Yeah, I was watching Vandiver in warm-ups, and he's got some stuff to him. He's got an arm to him. We saw some mobility right there on the rollout.
And to Bucky's point, it's important for these coaches to get these guys in the game and get them some live reps, whether it's running the ball, whether it's throwing the ball. You need to see these things on film because there's so much inexperience on this team. You got to remember, at this level of football, there is no preseason. There aren't any games that you can go back and review before the games that matter. These games do matter. That play matters too.
Brown on the reception.
Field is a catch and a fumble recovered by Virginia Union.
Yep, who loses it.
First down, Virginia Union.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Just when you have the makings of what appeared to be a solid driving process, you just dump it out to the tight end. He just drops it. Not hit.
He was worried about being hit and didn't secure the catch yet. It's unfortunate.
He's got to put the ball away.
Yeah, Antonio Cotman on the recovery for Virginia Union.
So much to learn. So much to learn. The next few days just need to be film sessions in conditioning, right? It's just, just not punishment, just seriously, just conditioning. Tired. These are all things that have to be addressed, and they will address them.
And you know what's so hard about this is a proud program. A program that just came off of a 10-3 year, won a championship, playoff appearance, all of those things, ranked in the top 25. It's not what you expect. But the reality of the situation when you have 70 freshmen, you're not going to jump out and be the team that you want to be right away. Hopefully they can learn from these experiences early, and somewhere the light bulb comes off and these young guys begin to play maybe at a level beyond their experience.
So it's Jerome James on the carry, but back to what you're saying, Bucky. Remember, Chris Good told us on our production call they didn't really have much of a summer program. So they're really just putting this together over the past few weeks. So for them to kind of come out, at least early on, to show how they did, goes to show there's something there.
Early on, they put up a really good fight. They made it very difficult. Virginia Union were sitting back looking and saying, hey, for a team that's so inexperienced versus a very veteran team of that of Virginia Union, they were holding their own. They just, at some point in the game, it really turned and big plays started making an impact.
And you talk about, you don't walk away with moral victories, but a very inexperienced team taking on a bully like Virginia Union, they held their own.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, Anthony McMillan Harris called for that penalty against Miles. That's when you really don't want, you know, your team trailing like this. You don't want to get anything sloppy, especially that gives up 15 yards for Virginia Union to possibly put more points on them.
Because those are the penalties that aren't correctable. Those are decisions, right? Those are, you either decide to do that or you decide not to. The coach can't have any influence on whether or not you're going to make that penalty. He can help you with your assignments. He can help you with your technique, but you have to be able to be disciplined enough not to hurt your team.
Number 6 on the carry, Jerome Jones. Jones has had some pretty nice runs here in the second half with the opportunities that he's been given.
Yeah, you know, Dr. Alvin Parker talked about 6 deep in the room, the talent, and being able to do it as a collective as opposed to individual.
Holding offense, number 46, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
A flag on the fullback, Jeremy Newmy.
You know, sometimes, Steve, in these games, in these moments, sometimes the referees...
I knew you were going to say that.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that yellow flag just kind of falls on the ground to prevent this thing from getting out of hand.
What?
I'm just saying.
Out of hand.
I'm just saying. You're trying to, you know.
Hey. Trying to call it straight, and now we have another stoppage in play. 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in this game. Virginia Union, the CIAA champs, up 38-3 as we wind this down here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Clash of the Classic.
Rated our TV at Best Buy, and now they feel like they're...
Wake up to NFL Network's Good Morning Football. Tune in each morning for inside access, commentary, and unique coverage of the NFL. And follow the ups and downs throughout the season with Good Morning Football. Weekday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. And here we are, the final 2 minutes of the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. The champions of the CIAA, Virginia Union, leading 38-3 from the champions of the SIAC, Miles College. As you wrap this up, Virginia Union does have possession right now.
Please put 2 minutes on the game clock.
As we're trying to get the clock, there it is, 2 minutes put on the game clock. Virginia Union lining up that I formation. Raphael Tucker deep. Roll out, Mark Wright. Number 19 on the reception, Trey Lyle stays inbounds.
They were trying to take another shot there, Steve.
Yes, they were.
Around that, taking his route a little bit too flat. Had he kept it high, that might have been another 6.
I think Virginia Union coach Alvin Parker
wants to see what he has.
Wants to see these guys get some work.
Hey, man, they don't pay me.
Last year,
my team and your team.
last year for Mark Wright. 66% completion was last year. What are you doing in 2025? I need to see it.
Got to get him ready to play. If he has to go in the game, he needs to be ready to play.
2nd and 9 and the 29 of Miles College. Right, working the clock.
Oh, man, let me go.
A nice run off right tackle, Raphael Tucker. Another one of those running backs down the depth chart, but we talked about all game, the offensive line. The hole was there.
Yeah, nobody touched him for the first 8 yards. I mean, you see him here on the nice little delay. The linebackers, as I mentioned earlier, are just waiting around. And when you wait as a linebacker at the second level, you allow the offensive lineman not only to identify you, but to be able to go up, get their assignment done, and then the running back seemingly runs right by you.
Yeah, Virginia Union running, Mark Wright running this clock down. It's going to be able to get it down to close to 30 seconds.
I guess we don't practice victory. We don't practice victory formation. We can do that in practice when they do that in the game.
Draw.
Draw. Snaps it with 3 left on the play clock.
Oh, he's out. Oh, my God.
Tucker.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. Up the middle. Bounces it to the left.
When I called the draw,
it was right there.
Oh, my God.
Raphael Tucker.
Oh, my
Just
God.
adding to the running back festivities for Virginia Union today, as now the Panthers have hung a 44 burger on the scoreboard with a PAT on deck.
Well, I know we're eating for dinner, fellas. 40 burgers.
Oh, man.
Here's what you failed to see. They were running guys on and off the field, offensive line, and getting them reps. And so when you talked about it, because you talked about it, you saw the walkthrough, how big Virginia Union is. Huge. Hey, man, there's a coach that once told me, there's a reason why you don't put middleweights in the ring with the heavyweights. And so Miles College found out why you stay in your weight classification.
Brady Myers with a few sprinkles of seasonings on that burger. It is now a 45-point burger. Virginia Union is up 45-3 in the season opener against Miles College here at the Black College Football Clash of the Classic. Virginia Union is going to walk out of here feeling really good about itself, and Miles College knows they've got to redirect. They've got some tough games coming up on the schedule, including in a couple weeks facing Alabama State of the SWAC. So it does not get much easier.
The Hornets.
For Miles College, they've got to grow up pretty quickly if they don't want this to happen again.
Eddie Robb. Gotta go see Eddie Robb and them.
Robinson Jr. coaching Alabama State.
That's a tough one.
Again.
Eddie Robb. Gotta go see Eddie Robb and them.
Robinson Jr. coaching Alabama State.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's really tough to come up, on a stage like this, nationally broadcast game, and to get it handed to you like this. For Virginia Union, they get to showcase their program. That only helps their exposure, visibility, and recruiting.
Yeah, but sometimes, man, these scars are good for a young team. You remember those scars as you're going through the offseason program and you're building your team. So you can bounce back from this. It's only one.
All right, let's take a look at some upcoming schedules here. We get ready for final kickoff from Virginia Union. Miles College up next. There we go. There's that game at Alabama State coming up September 13th. Oregon State, September 27th. Oh yeah, it doesn't get much easier.
Talk about another defensive, physical football team from Oregon State.
All right, it just handed an incredible stat. This is the second most rush yards that we have had in Division II so far this season. Trying to wait for these totals to pop up right here. And it looks like 375 rush yards. And look, here's Virginia Union's upcoming schedule. See Shaw, you see Winston-Salem.
Yeah, Winston-Salem.
Bucky's they got Johnson C. Smith coming up on the 20th. That's a big game.
Hey, that is a big game.
That's a big game.
For real now.
Yeah, Johnson C. Smith has really put that program together. That's going to be a really nice clash. And I'm sure Bucky's got relatives at all of those schools on the schedule.
You never know, man. Brook family clan, we everywhere.
So you ride deep?
We just everywhere.
All right, and there likely the final play of the game for Miles College. The handoff goes to number 16, Connor Twyman. The clock clicks down. 2 zeros, and that is it here at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Clash at the Classic. Virginia Union 45, Miles College 3. And as these teams convene to shake hands, Bucky Brooks and Isaiah Stanback, some final thoughts on what we saw today.
Yeah, you just saw the size difference was a big key for me. I mean, you saw the control of the line of scrimmage for Virginia Union. They were obviously more dominant on both sides of the ball, and it had a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just talk about the bully that Virginia Union is. Big, fast, physical. They play a brand of ball where they're building the line in the trenches, and you saw that play out. Older group playing a younger group. You knew it at some point it was going to tip over, and that's what happened in the second half.
Yeah, now as we're seeing both teams shake hands as we wrap things up. I want to thank our crew back in Los Angeles, our crew here in Canton, Ohio. Isaiah Stanback, Bucky Brooks, well done. Here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the people are wonderful. We are in football heaven. I'm glad we got to kick off the season like we did today at the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I am Steve Weich. Signing off, Virginia Union 45-3 over Miles.
How was this for Hunting?
It was great. You know, we got to come out here the first game of the season and kind of play a lot of guys and showcase all our talent. We got a lot of talent on this team. You know, we got enough talent to kind of make sure we can kind of run the table. You know, but everybody's got to play every week just like we played today.
Dr. Alvin Parker. I think I called you Alan. I'm sorry about that. I mean, what you did out there. Everybody needs to know, Dr. Alvin Parker, what does it mean for you guys to have this national stage to showcase not only HBCU football, but what Virginia Union football is all about?
You know, our motto is play for 11. You know, so everything we do is based on that. So anytime we got to show the world our brand, you know, we're going to take advantage of it. So the way these guys played today, I'm extremely proud. I might not be as proud when I go watch the film, but, you know, I want to make sure, you know, that we keep playing our level best no matter where we at.
Enjoy this one, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.